would like to call the December 16th meeting to order. Attendance? Mr. Schufelt?
Present.
Mr. Scully?
Present.
Mr. York?
Here, present.
Tony Dickinson present, and I will be chairman tonight. Peter Kehoe will be absent. Yes. And I would like Mr. Schufelt to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Everyone, please stand for pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so our next administrative item is going to be to review the proposed changes to schedule. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. I would like to make a motion to adopt the minutes of the October 21st meeting. Everybody in favor?
I'll second the motion.
Oh, sorry. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we have before us proposed changes to chapter 285 of the city charter regarding zoning regulations, and I understand that we need to schedule a public hearing.
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I would just like to correct something in the. I would just like to correct something in the city council resolution.
okay,
It does say that the failure of the planning board to report its recommendations on or before December 24th shall be deemed an approval of the proposed amendments. I guess I think I need to own that mistake. It should not have said December 24th. I write the legislation for the council. Perhaps I wrote it for an earlier meeting and just forgot to change it. But the board generally has up to 62 days to review something like this. The next meeting of the board in January will be within that 62 days, and that would be time enough to make a determination or a recommendation or unrecommendation, whatever you care to do, as well as hold the public hearing.
okay,
And I will, if you'll authorize me, I will report to the council on this so that they can correct it after they get your final report.
okay. I will give you that permission.
Okay. All right.
And our next meeting is January, what's the date on it?
Do we have to have a motion on that?
Our meeting date is January 20th.
January 20th.
You make a motion to schedule the public hearing on the repeal of and amend section 285 of the plan of the code.
Tri-City Code.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion is carried. So I will make a motion that we will have the meeting for this hearing on chapter 285 on January 20th.
I thought it was earlier.
Yeah, I think we just.
Okay.
Write a report that's ready or issue a report prior to the meeting. They're so long.
No, it can't issue a report until they have a public hearing.
They need that one.
So are we ready, gentlemen?
I'll bring it to the council to amend
You ready?
it. Ready.
Okay. Our first order of business will be PLPC 2024-0019 Eddie's Lane. Do we have someone here that would like to speak on that?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Good evening, Nick Costa from Advanced Engineering and Survey. And we're here tonight to present the project that's being proposed at Eddie Lane. This was before the board back in October, I believe it was, and we revised the drawings based on the staff reports. And the applicant here is proposing to develop 72 apartments in 8 buildings. And we do have the copy of the current staff report. And there's nothing within those comments that we received from the staff report that are major. They're pretty much minor. I've spoken with the applicant. He will allocate some space in each building for the bike racks or the bike storage. He's not going to be seeking a waiver for that. That will be allocated in 3 of the buildings. They're being built. The other items as shown in the staff report are just minor items. As I mentioned, we'll be able to easily address those with some signage for the trails and a kiosk for the trail.
So you have a monument sign.
Yes.
Did you get a variance for that?
No, we haven't.
You haven't.
No. No.
So we have to take that into consideration.
Yes.
That's going to,
Yes.
and they don't need to come back for that to us, do they, later in?
I'm sorry, I missed,
So-
what is it they need? They need a
So they
zoning
need a
variance?
variance for a monument sign, So, but they wouldn't have to come back. If they get the variance, that's all within.
If you want to approve the application have you had a public hearing and stuff like that?
This is, this is a public hearing.
This
and-
is the public
yeah.
hearing. You can condition the approval.
Okay.
That's correct. So there will be extension, as I mentioned, the last meeting, there'll be extensions of water and sanitary sewer, and the stormwater will be manageable on site. And there is a comment with regards to having hydrants placed close to the building, which we will add, we will have to add some hydrants. Again, those are pretty much the comments that I see here. As you can see on the screen, that's the layout of the buildings and the circulation around the road.
So these are the same drawings we saw
Yes,
last.
that's
meeting.
correct. With just the minor
Yep.
edits that we did to,
Okay.
we added the playground area over in, and then we, the trail again, some signage was added to the trail. That's all that really changes. We did some layout revisions to the parking area to have sufficient maneuvering area for when the dumpster gets picked up. But those were pretty much we checked out the setback to the parking. That was another comment that was brought up, and we are within we meet that requirement, and it's been noted on the drawings. So if there are any questions, I'd be more than try to answer those.
I have some questions.
Sure.
You have on your map, one of them that I looked at, I've looked at so many, snow storage areas.
Yes.
Okay. How do you move that snow to those snow storage areas? Are you having sidewalks and curbs and they're beyond the sidewalk? So how do you move that snow over there?
They would still place the snow, push the snow over and clear the sidewalks so that, they would not, the snow storage would not spill over onto the sidewalks.
Okay, so when you plow the streets, where does all that snow go?
It would be as, depending, that doesn't show the snow storage areas, but wherever the green space that was used for the snow storage would be accessed, and the plows would push it onto there.
It's like a mountable curb might be.
Yeah,
Appropriate.
right.
in the-
In those areas, yes.
Okay, all right. The area between building 5 and 4, that great big green space, is that there because of storm drainage in there? So-
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's no way that you could move your amenities into that area
The-
because it has to be used for the snow, for
Yeah,
the drainage.
the drainage, and that's also the lower area, so it lends itself to operate as a stormwater management area.
Okay. Okay, so your amenities, that's all gonna be out in the open? Is there going to be any, say what are you gonna do with the amenities? You're gonna have a little small park for the children,
That's correct.
and what else is going to be there?
There's also some tables and a barbecue area right adjacent to that.
Okay, is there gonna be any coverage for that?
We don't show that, but we can certainly consider that
I-
as a,
Yeah.
Yep.
Would you consider fencing that area in for the children and,
yeah, I don't see why they can't be fenced. Even, maybe a low fence so that,
right, I mean, just for that whole amenity
Yes.
area, so you
Yep.
can, if you're cooking, your kids are running around
Right.
and they take off on you.
Right.
Whatever, that would be a nice,
Mhm.
I think. Okay. Okay, is there anyone here that would like to comment on this project? Anybody on Zoom?
No.
Okay, so is everybody good with?
I'm good
approving
with it.
this
So
application?
I'd like to make a motion to approve this application contingent or coincidental to getting a variance for your monument sign.
I second that motion.
Do you want to include the fence?
Excuse me.
Do you want to include the fence in your condition?
Yes,
Do you want any definitions for it? Do you think timber rail is the best option? Do you want to leave it to my discretion and review, or?
I'll leave it to your discretion.
Lucky.
So why don't you start from the top if you wouldn't mind? From the top of the
The
motion.
motion, would you make the motion again if you include both conditions?
I'd like to make a motion to approve this application with a condition of or coincident to the variance for the monument sign and suitable fencing regarding any common area use for parks or recreation for the children.
To be approved by the city engineer?
To be approved by the city engineer, yes. Good job, Chris.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The second on the agenda would be PLPB 2025-0056. Toast of Hudson. Is anybody here to speak on that? Evening.
I'm Jeffrey Goldstone. I'm the architect for the project, Goldstone Architecture.
I'm Garrett Brown, owner of the property.
Okay,
We're looking for our final approval for planning for the
okay,
project. We have gone through the zoning. We had two variances granted to us, one for the heights of the decks
mhm,
and one for the slightly larger than allowed sign. We've completed the historic review. I know the staff report says we're in the process. It was the historic review, as far as I understand, was fully granted. We met the conditions of the first meeting and met with them the second time.
okay,
We have submitted to the city the utilities calculations for the additional sewage flows. And we have added, we will add, let me just say it that way, although we have the drawing to show how we do that, the long-term bike parking that's been provided or that's been suggested is something we had missed. And we'd like you to understand that there is short-term bike parking immediately across the street from the back. We weren't planning to do additional bike parking in that location.
so where would your long-term parking for the bikes be?
I'm gonna pull it up.
You can pull it up or I can show you. I actually brought some copies of the sketch that we did for it, if you'd like. And this would fit, you all have copies, I believe, of the lower level. So the long-term parking, long-term bike storage would be in the area that's shown on there. Thank you. We're showing room adequate for 8 bikes. I believe 6 is what's required by the zoning ordinance. Happy to run down the summary of the project again if you like, but I know we described it before and you've seen the drawings.
So maybe for the benefit of the public, if you could just do a quick summary.
We're actually asking for your approval of a 4-phase project. First phase would be replacing some of the decks behind, or all of the decks that are behind on the river side of the building, and adding new decks, a new lower level deck. I can point to it here for you. Here and a new second.
Can you take the microphone with you? I'm sorry. Do meeting minutes.
Sure. Replacing the deck that's here now, adding a new deck where I'm pointing here and a second floor deck here. That would be the first phase of the project. On the second phase, we'd be adding the tower that allows for an elevator to be used to access the upper levels of the building, of the restaurant part of the building and the Rev Hall part of the building. That elevator would also access the upper floors of the building. And in subsequent phases, adding an oyster bar on the 4th floor of 417, thank you. And then in the last phase, doing residential units, 11 residential units on the upper floor of the remainder of the building. That's a short summary, but that's what we're doing.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, you can ask me.
so I wanted to ask Chris about the CSO offsetting.
Yeah, so it appears what would really trigger that is probably the 4th phase, adding, residential units upstairs. So essentially that would probably trigger it under permitting at that point, but either way, I probably would just condition city approval of the CSO for each stage of the building permit, just to ensure it gets looked at.
Okay,
But since there's no increase in occupancy or bathrooms or sewer capacity for the first few phases.
So that's really
Like we
building
should be okay.
department and engineering. So, you know, in our purview, you know, we're looking at, hey, what are the impact and are there big changes here that we need to address? But that's really more when the nuts and bolts of construction of the apartment part of the project. Is that what we're talking
But
about?
a condition would be appropriate because frankly, I mean, this is sort of a collapsed review. I mean, with
Right.
these phases.
Right.
So normally if you were just reviewing a residential development by itself, 11, you would require, or at least, you know, require that there be a CSO.
So if we're
agreement.
doing this approval, including phase 4,
So you make it conditional.
we should make a condition that includes that.
That's,
So
that's,
that way they won't have to come back to us when they do phase 4. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Correct. Yeah. And we understood that. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Any other
It's a public hearing, so. You know, and everybody from the public wants to.
Would anybody from the public like to speak on this proposal? Do we have anybody on Zoom? Okay,
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve this application with the condition of the meeting of the CSO on phase 4 of the project.
Well, on each phase.
On each phase of the project with that condition.
I second that motion.
everybody in favor?
Aye.
Anybody in opposition? No. Well,
Congrats.
congratulations, you're all
Thank you very
set.
much. Appreciate all your help.
The next item on the agenda is PLPZ 2023-0045 at 185 Earl Street.
Good evening, Greg O'Connor with Architecture Plus.
Kristen Keneg, Director of Real Estate Unity House.
So since our last planning board, we did go to the zoning Board of Appeals to get the variance for the 50% transparency on the ground floor. They did grant us that variance.
Looks much better.
So we are seeking final approval. I know we're still working through our finalizing our easement on that end, but other than that, there's just the staff comment on commercial signage details.
I wanted to just kind of chime in and say that I received your email. And before I had a chance to respond to it, I was going to direct you towards this gentleman here, who is our corporation counsel. So you can follow up with him in terms of what's needed.
Anybody have
So
any questions?
did you say you do have the easement agreement and it has not gone to the corporation council yet?
So we're giving an easement from one property to
Right,
another.
I understand. You own both properties.
Right,
I get
right,
it.
right. So we just haven't given it to, but it's.
So you haven't seen it yet? Yeah.
I have not.
Okay.
Have you sent it to me?
No, we're just trying to finalize that with Union House's legal counsel. So
So usually that might be in the form of kind of a covenant that runs with the land or something like that. So you could one or an easement, you could deed to yourself from one parcel to another an easement. Okay, essentially giving the dominant parcel, which is the one that owns the easement, the right to go on the land of the servient parcel for whatever purposes you write it up. But and you wouldn't want it for the entire parcel. You'd probably want it for a limited area. It's mainly
just
to
access.
for the trash, I guess.
Correct.
Right. Or alternatively, you could sell a strip of land and subdivide a little bit. I don't even know if that would result in a review or not, but I'm not sure.
It's gotta be a subdivision, right?
Yes, but some subdivisions don't unless it creates a new buildable lot. I'm not sure if it's
So it's a
reviewable.
lot line adjustment.
A lot line adjustment, right? Right.
The other staff comment was just commercial signage details. I think our previous elevation did have some information on that, but if it's missing anything from the code, we can certainly supplement that.
Well, I saw those details actually after you mentioned that. I would probably just say like when you apply for your signage, probably have them drafted up on a separate set of documents to show a little bit more in detail, like with the sizes of each letters and how it projects off of the wall.
Okay. Understood. Those are the only two items. So
Okay.
Is the application perfected?
Oh, yeah, they have a complete application. They're here for a hearing tonight.
This is a
Okay.
hearing.
They already had their application.
I saw emails before where the fees hadn't been paid or something like that.
Those fees have been paid.
Okay.
Do we have any? Well, do we have any questions?
I'm good.
No questions from us? Okay. So is anybody here would like to, in the audience, would like to speak on this proposal? No? Anybody on Zoom?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve this application conditioned upon review and approval of either the easement agreement or the lot line adjustment, whichever way you go,
By the Corporation Council.
by the Corporation Council, right?
Second.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is passed.
thank you.
You're all set. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is PLPB 2025-0038. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a USB port
Oh,
or
there it is.
you can just kind of check, like, just join the meeting there?
Yeah, I'm in the meeting. I didn't see the. I needed
If
to
you don't have
expand.
shareable features, let me know. I think you should. There you go.
Okay, there we go. So good evening, Joe Danable with the Environmental Design Partnership, here on behalf of RJ Valenti Companies and our application for the Bella Vita residential community to be located at the location of the former Uncle Sam's parking garage. We have been here at several meetings at this point in front of the planning board. We've also held a community or like a town hall style meeting where we invited members of the community to speak about this project. That was done very early on, trying to get as much information as possible gathered so that we could put together the best possible project for the city. Quick review this is located in the location of the former Uncle Sam's parking garage. It's in between 3rd and 4th Streets, north of Fulton Street and south of the Best Western Hotel. It's adjacent to the Riverfront Park. Site itself is 2.13 acres. It's a consolidation of 4 different tax parcels that have been purchased at this time by the applicant himself. We're looking at constructing a 5-story building. First floor would be a parking garage. 2nd story through the 5th story are residential units. On the 2nd story is amenity space, approximately an outdoor space of 30,000 square feet for outdoor amenities. We're looking at 193 units with 236 parking spaces in the garage. That is set up to provide 1 parking space for every bedroom within the facility. There is additional parking located around the peripheral of the site that would be on-street parking. That is actually, public parking can be used by anybody. Entrances to the garages are located on 3rd and 4th Street. As discussed at our prior meeting, we pushed those garages, we inset them into the building, so now a car can pull in and be out of the sidewalk while that garage door is opening. I'd like to, identify that the former Uncle Sam's parking garage, the entrances to the parking garage were on 3rd and 4th Street. We've actually changed their location slightly, pushing them further away from the intersections, which do make them a safer location for the garage entrances. Museum Place, or the land that is in between our parcel and the Best Western Hotel. I think if everyone recalls, our first application had that shown as a dog park, outdoor amenity space, and green space. At the request of the city, we met with the owners of the Best Western Hotel, and we developed an agreement where Museum Place would be reconstructed and also reconfigure some of the parking on site to provide additional parking space for the hotel. And that is what is being done in that area today. We have a one-way street with parallel parking that is privately owned. There will be an easement over that private alley, I call it a street, private alley, for the benefit of the Best Western Hotel. And ultimately, that is something that easement will be provided to council for review. We've been identified that we need at least one variance. On that property line, our building is supposed to be within 10 feet of that property line. Due to the agreement that the city requested us to work out with those owners, the building is now 29 feet away from the property line. So we do need to apply to the Zoning Board of Appeals and obtain a variance for that setback. I don't think that's a big ask, since we are working with the city to provide ample parking. There's been a request to provide a loading zone. What we are looking to do is we're going to take 2 parallel parking spaces directly in front of the entrance and mailroom on the 4th Street side, and that'll be striped off for delivery, loading zone, Uber, taxi pickups, things like that, so they can get off the street while people are using those services. Also, the mailroom, the mailman can come in, park there to go into the mailroom and then provide mail, as well as any other services that would be dropped off moving. If it's coming in by a large tractor trailer, that would be something that we worked where the parallel spaces would be coned off in the morning so that space would be reserved for that moving truck in the instance that it's needed. All other moving would occur through the parking garage. As I said, the current plot of land, the application is on 4 separate parcels, all of which are owned by R.J. Valenti Companies. We will be providing a consolidation map or a lot line adjustment map to the city, and through an administrative action, those parcels will be consolidated under a lot line adjustment. As I identified, the first floor of the building is a parking garage with 236 parking spaces. We have a mix of standard vehicle parking spaces, about 158 of them, and compact car parking spaces, 78 of them, to get us up to the 236 spaces. There is a trash room located on the first floor with trash chutes from the upper floors. Within that space, those are trash compactors, so we need very limited space in order to provide garbage service to this building. They all come down into the chutes, into the compactors, are compacted down, and then on garbage day, weeks, pickup, whenever pickups are getting scheduled, those compactor bins will be rolled out to the street and picked up by a trash provider. We have 3 primary entrances. Main primary entrance is located on 4th Street, on the first floor of 4th Street. We also have access to the residential floors from the Fulton Street and on the Museum Place side. Say a fourth entrance, although it's just an entrance, there is a stairway on the Third Street side that leads up to the second floor amenity space, which was requested by the board and the city for fire access to that area. So that is also provided, which would be a fourth access point to the building. So there's an access point on the street of the building. Also, we're providing the CDTA with a break room, if you will, that has been reviewed by CDTA, the location and the use of the space inside. Essentially, it's a break room, bathroom for the drivers to get out and do what they need to do in between routes. Bike storage. We are providing nearly 80 long-term bike storage spaces and almost 50 short-term bike storage spaces, the area for them. Phase one of the area, we would provide the long-term bike storage in the room. Start from the first applicant, I'll take the mic with me. In a room down here, and then secondary, once this room fills up, bike storage would occur in this location. We have made some modifications to that area where we now have 4 foot of space between the hanging bikes and the front of the garage spaces. We're going to install plastic bollards so that the cars can't go into that area. And it's going to provide ample room to protect the pedestrians and the cars that would be utilizing that space. We also are providing short-term bike parking storage along the arcade on Fulton Street. And I'll get more into that as we talk about the activation of Fulton Street in that area. There was a comment in the staff review letter that these bike storage spaces might not meet the requirements for secure bike parking. That's something that we disagree with. The parking garage is controlled with gates and access, passcode access or key fob access. So the only people able to get into the parking garage are the residents of the building. Nobody else will be able to get into the parking garage, and therefore we believe it's secure. Similar, if you had a bike room with a key fob access, every resident of the building would have a key fob that could get into that bike storage area. So we feel that it is a secure area. There's a question that the board may need to waive the bike storage requirement. I don't think it's needed, but if the board is comfortable and staff's comfortable with granting that waiver, we would certainly welcome it. Build out of the frontage along 4th Street. This is our primary commercial area, primary amenity space, interior amenity space for the building. You come off of 4th Street for the residential portion. You come into a lobby, you have your mail room to the left, a reception area on the right, a small workstation on the right as well, and then you enter into elevators and alleyways. We're also building up about 1/3 of that frontage with what would be a potential coffee shop, something of that nature, a small commercial service, where we also have outdoor seating available, glass, street, again, the street activation commercial space that the city's looking for along that frontage. At the intersection of 4th and Fulton, we have the CDTA bus stop. And as you can see on the north side, slightly different from the last rendering. This is the updated. We have the larger bike storage area. This is also going to be like a bike mechanic shop area for people to wash their bikes, hang their bikes, along with spaces along the side of the wall to provide additional bike storage. Entrance, as you can see, we pushed the entrance to the garage, to the gated access, recessed it into the street to give everyone the ability to pull up, get off the sidewalk, allow pedestrians to continue walking north and south on that street. The second floor amenity space. There was some comments that there's not a lot of detail on the second floor, and then that is true. At this point, there is not a lot of detail. We talked about this last time. We want to make sure what goes up there is what the residents are going to want to use. Looking at the rendering, it is the intent to have pickleball courts or hard surface sports courts of some form and fashion, pergolas, walking trails, outdoor sitting areas, outdoor kitchens. We like the idea of having like a small area for a gas fire pit where people can sit in Adirondack chairs and have a gas fire pit to be able to turn on. So all things like that will be placed out in that area. The exact design will be evolving as we continue through the building process after approval. But again, it's an outdoor amenity space with plantings, low plantings, small shrubs, grasses. We're not going to be able to get full-size trees up on that area because of the shallow soils and the green roof that will be existing there. But there is about 30,000 square feet of amenity space on that area that's also used as a green roof and qualifying as the impervious area for the site. Sorry, pervious area. Right. Again, as I said, we want to continue to develop that area and evolve that area as we go. I mean, even what gets put in there in day one might be different on year 5, year 10, year 20, as the use of outdoor spaces continues to evolve. So we want to make sure that there's that flexibility built into our design to be able to amend this and not be locked into a detailed plan that can never change unless we come back here for some sort of site plan review. Okay, we get into the architectural elevations or the 3D perspectives. And I think as part of our next submission, there was a comment that we only provided black and white elevations within our submission package. We are going to include these renderings, which I think these perspective renderings are much easier to look at and get an idea of what the building will look like from various vantage points. This is our 4th Street side. Top right is the center primary entrance to the building. Located here. Over to the left is the coffee shop with the outdoor seating. We are promoting the arcade look on this side where a portion of that streetscape will be covered walkway, covered area for sitting. Again, on the north, and you can see it also, on the north, and you can see it continuing to the south, and just a different perspective, looking in a southerly direction along that 4th Street frontage.
Where's the garage entrance?
I believe this is the entrance here. You're kind of seeing the side of the wall going back into the building. This is the Fulton Street side of the building. The upper left is a perspective looking from beyond the intersection of 3rd and Fulton. Missed an end there, Fulton Street. And the lower right is a perspective looking at from opposite the intersection on 4th and Fulton. This is an area where we started focusing. The city has had some focus on the activation of this street, knowing that the atrium's redeveloping. There's some nice restaurants coming in over there. And certainly we want to make sure that what we are doing is attractive and blends in with that area. Again, what we are showing the arcade appearance where a portion of the sidewalk is covered. That area will have down lightings in the roof, so that area will be lit up at night. We are also providing landscaping. There's street trees along that side of the street, although not shown in the rendering. We're providing wall sconces for lighting. There is areas for, can't think of the word I'm looking for, hanging baskets, if you will, arms extended out.
Just to confirm real quick, we had talked about the initial plan went over the sidewalk, correct? And then we said, no, we're going back to the edge of the sidewalk. So the colonnade or this is not on city property, correct?
Correct. None of
Okay.
this is on city property,
Okay, just
but
to clarify.
but the sidewalks still are under the building in that area. There is still a colonnade or an arcade as we're referring
Right,
to.
but it's not going over city side.
We're not encroaching into the
Correct.
city.
Okay, thank you.
Now, also identified along the Fulton Street frontage, and this is something within the code, it's alluded to in the code, that in the future, should the demand be there for commercial spaces, this area could be converted. Those parking spaces could be removed, bump out the building and create all of this frontage as shop front as it goes along, as it's developed. And that's something that's in the code, and we made accommodations for that within this building to create that street presence. So we are going to have the lighting, we're going to have sitting areas, we're going to have bike storage racks over there, outdoor bike storage for temporary, short-term parking of the bikes. It's going to be well lit. We will have areas for sitting. We will have that area also open for use by, say, food vendors or push cart vendors to be able to sell food from under that colonnade. It could also be utilized by vendors of the farmer's market when it is outside. There could get spaces and lease spaces over that area for the farmer's market. We'd be willing to work with them. We've also talked with it that could also be used for street art. People having street art shows, providing art spaces. So it is a passive space, but we believe with what we are doing and how it is designed, it's going to be accent well the redevelopment across the street. We do believe it'll have street activation, and it has the future ability to be utilized for commercial space in the event it becomes prominent and needed in this area. Again, just some additional elevations. This is now, the upper right is looking from Fourth and Museum Place, looking back at the building. You're starting to see the second story. This is the second story where the outdoor
is-
amenity spaces.
That's Third Street, right?
Sorry, I'm looking
Yes.
over here.
Yeah.
Third, I'm backwards. Yes, Third Street is here, Museum Place here. That's the amenity space up on the top.
So quick question. So the new staircase, is there an elevation that shows with that new,
Well, it's probably right behind this tree.
how do you secure that?
It'll be secured with a gate and key fob access.
Key fob? So the fire department, for example, will be able to access it
Correct.
with their own fob system or whatever.
Correct. However, we can certainly work with the fire department there.
Okay.
Another variance that was pointed out, and this is something we're gonna have to talk with Eric on. It says something about windows either need to come to the corner or be greater than 24 inches from the corner. I think every one of the corners of our building bring windows right together, so I'm not sure exactly what in violation we are of that code. I think that's something we're gonna have to walk.
Yeah, I would just need an updated elevation.
Okay.
The elevation shows that there's some gaps between the windows and the edge of the building. Again, there's that
Okay.
design detail that I didn't make up, but
Yeah, not sure what
the
that's
intent
about,
is-
but
I was thinking about it, it's probably to not have windows like just so close to the edge of the building, it would just look awkward. You know what I mean? Like windows terminating 6 inches away.
right, but we can bring them right to the corner.
Yeah, those
Like
are
this,
rapid.
which again, I think in every elevation we've shown, we are bringing them right to the corner. So that was something you surprised the architect with. So we can go over that in a little more detail and get you some additional
So
information.
that actually, almost like a curtain wall then is that what we're saying here? That the glass is, that is the wall and it's consistent with the brick? Is that what we're saying? It goes right even with the brick?
Yeah, within inches, I'm assuming. I mean,
Okay.
That's flush as flush can be for whatever detail that would be. But yeah, that you can see there's a little bit of reveal on this side here, but yeah, the windows are the wall in those instances.
okay.
Those are going to be nice, bright
Yeah.
living spaces.
Yeah.
With some great views.
So the red that you're showing on your buildings, is that brick?
Yes. That is brick.
Okay.
This is where we get into the amenity space, our second floor amenity space, the artistic rendering of what we want that area to be. There was discussion of, snow removal. We don't anticipate clearing and plowing all 30,000 square feet in the winter. We're going to maintain the trail system going around, maybe a small portion of the sports courts and some small sitting areas. But as you can see, there is large areas of vegetation where the snow can be piled up in order to clear those sidewalks and pathways. So that there is really no snow storage plan. We have ample area on that amenity space to be able to provide snow storage.
So that's going to be thick enough if you get a couple of feet of snow and you're piling it on those. You're not going to have any problems underneath with where the water is going. It's going to be enough to.
Yep, we have
Soak it up.
drain systems in there because we are considering this a pervious feature of the site. So as the snow melts, it will go into those drain systems. They are designed to handle the wind load, the snow loads that could exist in those areas.
Okay. And you did mention when you were doing your amenities up there you mentioned gas fireplaces or whatever. So that's allowed?
I believe so. I mean, certainly something we got to take up with the fire
Because I had
department.
asked that last week and you said you weren't sure about it. And then I heard you mention it this week. So I didn't know.
We're not sure it's allowed. We'd certainly like to do it. We think it's a great amenity. I know a lot of people have them very simply in their backyards, and even in a lot of apartment communities, we do. We do have them, but it's something we can work with the fire chief on, which brings us to another element in one of the comments within the staff review letter. It talks about the need for 24 EV charging stations. We have no exterior parking. It's all within the building. And I've definitely had conversations in past projects that they don't want EV charging within the building,
right,
because it's a fire hazard. So we really have no opportunity to provide EV charging. So that's something I just wanted to bring to this board's attention and into the staff's attention, that it's not wanted by the fire district within the building. So I'm not sure if that's a waiver or how we would address that.
Until the fire department gets that sorted out with the Department of State, it's still going to be a requirement. So you'd still need a variance.
That would be a variance.
Yeah, but I mean, we were going off of your transportation demand management plan. So
Right, which is a review of the city code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought it stated that you guys intended to put in 24. That's not accurate.
We were, until we were realizing that the fire chief did not want them.
So we could talk about that at another review session, but
Okay.
we would still need a variance.
Okay. Just want to take a look at the staff letter. Sure. We reviewed the staff letter. There is some, revisions to the EAF, revisions to the complete streets, site plan checklists, some very minor clerical things that need to be updated. Under the recommendations, yes, we are ready and willing to go to the review commission, the design review commission for the building architecture. There are no employees at the site. There will be a maintenance or a management company that operates this facility. So there will be people on site, but there is no full-time employee that will be sitting in the building at a front desk, anything like that. It will be a management company, call a management company, and they will come address, deal with the garbage. There will be people on site sporadically throughout the day.
Joe, what are the different ways into the building look like for, residents?
What do you mean? What do they look like?
Like, is there outside stairwells? Or are they all through the parking garage and then you go inside up doors?
So all of the entrances except for the 3rd Street entrance that goes up to the amenity space, you'll be entering at street level through a commercial door into a lobby area that will connect to stairs and or an elevator. That's on the north and south side, the Fulton and Museum Place. The entrance on 4th Avenue, which would be the primary entrance would be a, little more grandiose, larger lobby. That's where the mailroom is. There would be a lobby-ish, if you will, or not a lobby, forgot the term he used. It's a meeting space and like workspace, shared workspace type of a setting. That answer your question?
Yep.
Easement agreement is a recommendation, provide elevations and color. Are the perspective views adequate to meet that requirement?
The views, yeah, I didn't have we didn't look at the renderings and stuff. We were looking for elevations that detail the exterior material palette.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind just showing us sort of like the color coordination as it pertains to the materials that you intend to use with those areas, that would suffice.
Okay. Landscaping plan for the terrace. Again, we're going to be providing a little more detail on that, where we don't anticipate doing a full landscaping plan of every plant, species, and grass on the amenity space of that second floor. Again, as we want that to be a living space and a evolving space for flexibility. We talked about the long-term biking enclosure, eliminating one of the entrances and bringing it onto Museum Place, kind of the side street. That's one of the comments. Again, that's an area that originally was not dedicated to be an alley. However, through recommendations that work with the adjacent landowner, it is becoming an area for an easement. Working with that landowner, we developed an agreement to provide a certain number of parking spaces. Again, this is recommendation of the city and the council. So we are providing that parking on our land through an easement for that landowner. Going in there, bringing entrances over there is going to reduce that parking. That was a consideration and recommendation of the city. So we don't feel like that is an appropriate change, and it could be put them into a breach of that agreement with those landowners.
I have two questions about that. One is with the parking that you're going to be placing on or near Museum Place, will that interfere with the fire truck access? Have you measured that?
It is set up per the city standards for drive aisle width for a one-way parallel parking street.
Like parallel.
So that there in the city code, there is requirements for a one-way parallel street shall have a 12-foot drive lane and an 8-foot parallel parking space.
So that's what you have?
That's what we have, yes.
Okay, then the second question is whether or not Museum Place will have any type of barrier or control access.
It will not.
Okay.
The Museum Place will remain private. You're not turning that over to the city.
That is a private driveway.
But it will
lot.
have access, publics, you could drive down it. If you're just someone driving down 4th Street, you could make a left.
You could and go in through that area.
Put in a couple speed bumps.
Wouldn't you be afraid of cut throughs, especially right there? Because, people who want to turn around instead of waiting at the light on Fulton, if you cut through.
Again, if it was up to my applicant, it would be a dog park. There would be no parking or no street access there. This was something the city, I don't want to say forced us, but said, take a very hard look and talk with your neighbor and come to an adequate.
Chris, you were just mentioning, so if you're on 4th Street, you're talking about going all the way around toward Dinosaur Barbecue and coming back to 3rd. You think people would be making the left on Museum Place to cut off that extra little, almost to the circle there that.
So speed bumps might inhibit that.
Yeah, I mean, speed bumps or speed dips or I like speed tables for crosswalks.
Spikes.
So this will be Museum Place is a two-way street.
It's a one-way street.
It's a one-way street. So
One-way alley. It's a parking lot. I don't even want to call it a street or an alley.
So you're going from 3rd to 4th. You can't take a left-hand turn from 4th onto it then? You're going, which direction are you
It
going?
goes
You're going west
from-
to east?
From 3rd to 4th, from
Right,
the
okay.
river.
That's wrong. I thought it was 4th to 3rd.
No,
So that's
Third,
less
fourth.
likely that somebody would make a left there.
right.
There's no reason to. Right.
Police,
Yeah.
It's running the opposite way.
So signage, you probably need some signage. So it's not a city street. You're gonna have to provide your own one-way sign.
Right, there'll be, your one-way coming off Third,
Right,
Fourth, and this actually becomes the primary circulation around the hotel.
gotcha.
Not dissimilar to what it exists as today, that much.
Right. Other than that, there's 200 some odd new people, yeah, right there. So,
Definitely more
It can
people.
be signed.
However, when it was a parking garage, there was, how many cars could park in that?
they were
parking
just
garage?
cars. There weren't people. They're just
Oh,
cars.
nobody drives them.
Actually ended up zero, so. So back to the EV thing. There's code and complete streets, correct? And so are we having a conflict between the city fire department and New York State code?
Historically, the fire department does not advocate for EV stations to be in structured parking.
Inside,
The only thing is that's not embedded, that's based on their experience, and potentially other case studies and stuff. But the problem is New York State Department of State hasn't weighed in on this issue with a resolution to it. So until they do, until that becomes building code,
So
fire
it-
safety code, essentially it's still a zoning code requirement.
so when you say they haven't weighed in, as in blanket or in this project in particular?
Blanket in your sense, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a touchy spot.
Yeah, we're
So-
not opposed to providing them. I just, when a fire safety issue is brought to our attention, we don't force.
Right, of
Fire,
course.
negative, go against what the fire department wants.
Yeah.
Is it an option to include them on the museum place spots?
Um,
Or on
That
the,
would-
on the
that would-
museum place side. Right.
so those parking spaces are for the hotel and not for residents of this community. And we don't have 24 spaces over there to be able to accommodate it. And we would also end up having to bring the electrical controls across the sidewalk. And it would impede people walking east-west on that sidewalk.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an appropriate spot for them.
So your museum place side elevation, do you have that? And can you?
So we'd be looking here and here.
So the first floor existing there is parking as provided.
Correct. Actually,
Right.
it's bike storage and then parking for this third,
So
two-thirds.
the problem you're having with the EV is that it's enclosed, it's inside, correct?
Correct.
Why don't I get a detail from the fire department on what their concerns are? I can
Yeah.
sort of, like I said, just in detail with those concerns, maybe they could be mitigated with additional
And opening more
provision.
ventilation, more something, I don't know. Maybe ventilation may be more, I don't know.
Or, if not, then potentially a reference of approval by the fire department for a variance. We can certainly keep that discussion
So we
open.
need more research is what we're saying on that, or
Sounds like it.
The problem is you can't put the fire out.
can't put the fire out, yeah.
Can't get,
Yeah.
can't necessarily
I-
get
I
a fire. You're
think
not
if-
gonna bring a fire.
I think
truck
if you
into
have
the
a,
garage.
200 cars that are gas burning, it's going to be a nice fire too. So, this is a concern. This is probably going to be a concern going forward as more EVs appear. So don't have an answer.
Yeah, I think, say,
Yeah.
we will provide them. But I don't want to go against the recommendations of the city.
Right.
So really, it's whatever. Yeah, it's pretty easy to put them inside. Everything's right there. to do
I've
it.
got one. So, and it hasn't burned up yet.
So if they don't,
Give it time.
if they're not able to put the EVs in their parking garage, are they required to still have EVs someplace? Do they have to have EVs someplace?
Under the current code, the chargers are required. How many exactly, I don't know, but that could be varied by the Go to the zoning board, correct?
You don't, does anyone know what the code says? Is a level 1 charger, level 2 charger? There's a significant difference.
Yeah, I
You know,
don't,
40 amps to 50 amps is level 2.
I don't, thank you.
You
Because
know,
I have
so
no
it's a
idea.
much more,
I have no idea.
a lot more power, like a gas or like a dryer.
Right.
I think the requirement's like 2 per 20 spaces. or something.
And I don't think they specified level 1 or level 2.
Does not.
There's a lot of power for 24 level 2. That's a lot of power.
Yeah.
So if they're all level 1, that's a totally different analysis.
I don't know what,
There's much longer charging time. You know, level 2 is overnight.
I'm not sure. I understand they might be different power batteries or whatever they are, but they might charge in different times. That the fundamental concern is, I understand it from the fire department. We do have a representative here. Is that once, if one of those malfunctions
Right, putting it out.
and gets going, it's putting it out is extremely
Yeah,
difficult.
it'd be the car.
The car, it would be the car. It would be the car, but maybe the interface with the
Right.
charging.
So it
could
wouldn't be
cause
level
that.
1 or 2 wouldn't matter. It'd be the car.
So you mentioned use cases earlier. Are there any use cases that you could refer to see what the data says? Because I haven't heard any situations where that's happened.
I'd have to defer to the fire department.
Okay.
But I guess at this point, is this a planning board issue? If we're not putting them in, it's a zoning board issue. If we can put them in, they're part of the plan.
But if you can't put them in, then where are they? You get a variance to not have any?
Yeah, it's
Correct.
it's more of a zoning board issue, but I think, I mean, it would be attractable, right, to some of your prospective.
I'm sure people are gonna
Residents,
have
right?
electric cars.
So the whole building is going to be, is the building going to be serviced by gas and electric? Or is it just going to be like the individual HVAC units, all electric?
So as you're probably all aware, the mandate on all electric has been stayed
Yeah.
in
For how
New
long?
York. So
Yeah.
if a building permit is pulled before 2020, the end of 2026, I'm sure there will be gas
Right.
in the building. And, just going on your comment before, to have 24 level 2 chargers, that's a lot. To have 236 bedrooms on
Yeah.
electrics, a lot more than that.
Right.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I know last month Jim had mentioned about the nooks. Are you going to have planters, something there where maybe the homeless is, I mean, there was talk about maybe homeless people going into those nooks and spending the night, or, that you don't want. I know you're gonna have planters, something to keep them out of there, little gates.
So it is going to be open, but we are going to light them. So there will be light there all night shining down in those alcoves. It's going to be I guess we'll say a difficult area in any city to assuage them from going there. But the lighting and the way in which it's done, and having a lively street across the way with the restaurant's going to help deter them. Yeah, we don't want to gate it off. It's not really good street activation to gate off areas
Right.
at night. So we do want to keep it as an active street, and we want those areas, we want people to walk under there when they're in the restaurant, or walk over there waiting for a table at the restaurant, sitting there and having a great conversation with your spouse or your family, prior to that. That is what we hope for that to be utilized. We don't want to gate it off and make it feel like a palace.
Okay.
I mean, there must be strategies of, landscaping and design that exist, whether it's, sort of zigzagging or forcing people, if they were gonna, lay down there, take a residency, they'd be right in the direct walking path and not in some like alcove, because maybe that's a bush or something. I don't know, but I'm just.
Yeah, and I
With-
understand
with
what you're
some
saying,
thought.
and that, we can do certain things, but we also want to keep those areas open, again, for short-term bike parking. We want to keep them open so we could have a push cart vendor set up a shop on a Tuesday when it's busy, or have the availability for that to be used as part of the farmer's market. If we start adding too much in there to deter people from walking and being in there, now we're losing the activation of the street that we're trying to promote. No, it's a tough issue.
Did you say you were gonna have bike parking on the Fulton side?
There will be bike racks for short term, and that's, for residents and for anybody, I guess, anybody with a bike lot can pull their bike in there.
Okay. Do we still need a lighting plan for this project?
Yes.
Okay, so we need a light plan. I also saw there was a planter on Third and Fulton.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that. Let's see here. Third and Fulton.
I almost wonder if it was a reflection of existing conditions.
Yeah,
'cause I
there's an
think there's
existing
something over
planter there that did not get demoed.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess,
Oh, this area here,
yeah. On the east side.
this here.
Nope, that's the utility strip, just to the left of that, at least. I don't know if this is an updated site plan, but the site plan that the staff received had a planter. Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. I mean,
So
it
Drew,
might have been
you're pointing
identified
here?
as an
More
existing
on the
condition.
property corner.
Yeah, I think it's here, and here is the only green space other than tree grates on that area.
I can show you on my computer if you want.
Same spot you just were near. Like, I don't know if that's what I mean.
So is that an old planter in disrepair that's just been sitting there from the parking garage, or what is it?
Possibly.
Yeah,
I think it was an existing condition, to be honest with you.
So he doesn't have to keep that, right?
No.
I think it's going away.
That would be a bad event.
No, actually, Joe, if you don't mind popping over here really quick. I'm talking about this guy here.
I think that is an existing condition note that's just not turned off. What is my existing?
If it's not going to be there, then
Yeah, if you go to the
disregard.
next sheet in the set or the previous sheet. Sheet number 2 in the drawing set. No, you're not in that.
I had to, in order for
No.
them to turn, I was able to get the files to work, but I had to kind of upload them individually.
Yeah, I don't believe there is a planter there. It's nothing we proposed.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
There's
it's an
one there
existing-
that exists.
Right.
so I
So we're gonna
suppose.
get rid
There was a McDonald's there too. I don't think he's proposing that either, so, might be a mix up on the overlay.
So, I guess our ask of the tonight of the board is we do want to start the coordinated review process and come back, start the coordinated review and come back in February to go through this and hopefully obtain approval at that point in time. I believe we have generally a complete application. I think we need to get an updated EAF and an updated complete streets form
Light
submitted
plan?
and a lighting plan.
Okay.
If we,
Also,
And the
survey-
easement,
Survey as well.
surveys there.
Well, I need a survey with signatures to update your plat to incorporate the lot line adjustment.
That needs to happen before we can go for the coordinated review.
You could do it at any given time because it's administratively done, but in order for that parcel that was Museum Place to be incorporated into this project, that's going to require a survey with, an updated plat, essentially, that's going to get signed by the director, the executive secretary and the.
Yeah, which we can certainly do. I guess I'm just asking, is that needed before we go to the coordinated review? I don't know why that would hold up the coordinated review. I'm sure it's
No,
needed before
It
approval.
wouldn't be holding up the coordinated review, but as it's incorporated into this project, it would still need to be provided for.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, we definitely will provide that, and it would be our goal to be on the first Tuesday zoning board meeting in February and obtain the variances, and then come back to this board in February and hopefully be able to obtain approval at that point in time.
so you indicated before that you would have an easement to provide for Corporation Council to review?
Yes.
Sooner the better.
Yep, and we'll get that as soon as it's available. I know I just watched an application get approved and that was a condition of the approval. I don't want that to happen, but
That was a very minor. This is much bigger. So
we will work on getting that easement pulled together.
So you're anticipating by the January meeting, you'll have a complete application that you can present to us and we can say, hey, all right, and schedule hearing for February. That's your goal?
Yeah, we would like to have the hearing in February.
In February. So
We
the
would like to
outstanding,
start the coordinated review before the January meeting so that
okay,
a public hearing can be held,
Mhm.
conclude seeker in February and hold a
Right.
public meeting in
so
February.
to go over some of these outstanding issues before our next meeting, what do we need to agree on here?
I think what the applicant is asking is if you would consider declaring the application complete. And that would be up to you guys, provided, the things that you need to see today versus at the next meeting and
I think we have a couple big issues.
You're gonna
We can
do-
narrow those down.
you're gonna do coordinated review. That would mean, have we already declared ourselves lead agency here?
No,
No.
if they declare tonight, then they're
We're
gonna
have to
30
do that in
days.
30 days
Then
to,
I'll have to come back. Or if you guys are ready, environmental,
for at least for a secret
Significance
determination.
and then can go to ZBA and then public hearing.
And you also have to go to HRC.
But January might fall after 30 days.
It's January 20th.
so.
So if Erica could submit that tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, like you only have what, like 3 other agencies you're working with involved? But yeah, we can send out notices before the 20th.
Okay.
That's not a
That
problem.
would get us back for January to deem it complete, do seeker, and set a public hearing for February.
If all goes well.
I've got,
So
be an optimist, Chris. Come on, it's Christmas.
Mhm.
So action for tonight would be to declare us lead agency,
Yes.
and then you'll take care of the letters that have to go out. And then January, you come back with your complete application. All these things resolved that we talked about. And then February, we do a hearing,
Right, you'd have to make,
assuming he gets everything he needs.
right, then make the secret determination.
So the first, and assuming we're lead agency.
So we
Assuming you
that.
declare yourselves
Right, we
lead
declare
agency,
and assuming nobody else.
assuming the application
Right.
is complete and you're satisfied that you have enough sufficient information to make a
Which
declaration.
looks
one
like
way or
that's
another.
January.
Right.
And
Could
we can be lead.
It could be
agent-
January.
We can be lead agency tonight,
Yes.
30 days, nobody else says anything, then we're lead agency.
That's correct.
I should also make a note that, provided that there is a positive outcome from the seeker review. They'll need that outcome before they go to request any variance from the ZBA. So it is kind of, appropriate for them to come back in January so that they can hit the
Yeah.
ZBA meeting in February.
Yeah, I don't think
just
that's
prior
a
to the-
problem, is it?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
So the only thing we can do tonight is, make a motion to declare lead agency.
Okay.
Yeah,
You done? You done?
I think we've
Yeah,
got
I'm
it.
done.
under
I'm just trying to get lead agency
Yeah,
declared at this point.
yeah. we should-
Do you want to entertain any public comments
Yeah.
before you do that?
Yes.
You can.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this proposal?
Jared Barringer with City Troy Fire Department. I just want some clarification from where we stand with part of the review of this project. Museum Place was a big ask from us just to have access to Best Western and to that side of the building. So what they've done on that side of that project, it looks good on our end. So that was one big question there.
Okay.
We're not too concerned about entrance ways into that side of the garage. Everything else, we knew that when they were developing that side, that we were not concerned with access into the building on that side, going into the garage. As far as EV, We are not big proponents of having EV charging within the structure itself, especially one with such a large residential units above it. Creates significant concerns with EV fires within the structure. With other projects, we ask that EV charging stations are outside, away from the building. We understand that this building does not have outside parking. So we would like to work with the applicant if we needed to obtain a variance to not have the EV charging within that structure at all. If that variance doesn't pass, we understand that will have to go inside the structure. So we understand that. Ideally, we would like to not have it in the structure.
So a question about it's residential above the parking, that's the issue.
And plus access for fire department access to get in.
Gotcha.
Just it
Is
would be an
there-
absolute nightmare just because it's enclosed and just getting just everything that goes along with
And
the
standard fire suppression that could be put into the garage won't do it.
It would.
It won't put 'em out.
It's not going to put them out. Just
Right.
because of we have different techniques that are being used. It's still a learning process for us.
The
with
other
this.
thing would be fire separation possibly.
And they're going to have their appropriate fire separation, but we're talking 24, 36, 48 hours of burn time for
Yeah.
these battery units. So it's not viable, and it would be extremely hard for us to put them out. So that's why we're asking for the EV charging units to actually get the EV vehicles outside the building, to give them a spot outside the building. That's what we're looking for, like other projects. That's why we're asking that.
Mhm.
We understand that might not be always possible, and we would work with the applicant to go in front of the variance board if that's the case. If that's not granted and there's no way to go around it, then we're going to have to deal with it the best that we possibly can.
Are there different levels of concern for, I think,
No, because it's the
level
vehicle.
one or level two?
No, it's the vehicle themselves. It's based on the battery packs and the battery lives and damage to the battery when something goes wrong with those components. We understand that when they're plugged in, it does. There are safety features within the vehicles that helps to make it a little safer. But when we look to have those charging units outside the building, is to remove those vehicles completely out of the building, if possible.
So even without the chargers underneath.
There still could be
It could be
still
in the
could be an
middle
issue.
of the parking garage.
Still could be an issue. So, but we'd work with the applicant, and if it's not possible, then we do what we do and deal with it on a,
Is
as the
there
best we can.
heightened risk because of the because of the charging operation
I don't think it's
itself?
so much that. I think it's the vehicle themselves.
Oh, okay. It's interesting.
And as far as
how do you recommend not parking?
we would like to not see them in the structure as possible.
Anywhere.
Yeah, correct.
So having them outside actually might attract EVs to be outside more, if residents they're having.
Correct.
Okay.
As far as the outside fire pits and fireplaces, we don't allow them in the city of Troy unless it's for cooking or religious reasons or the correct disposal of the American flag. So within the city, there is no burning. Right.
So does that include like a propane gas grill?
No, because that's cooking.
So they can
use cooking as long as it's used for cooking. Propane gas, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
But for cooking in an appropriate container. But for fireplaces and open flames, we don't allow.
Huh.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so let's declare lead agency. Okay. Yep.
Hi, Lisa Rodriguez from TAP, live in 1986 15th Street. The drawings weren't posted online this time, so I didn't get a close look at them. I was curious if there is any provision for transformers on the property. My general comment is it's a lot of building and really maximizing the site. And I'm expecting there's a transformer somewhere, but I haven't seen it. And to the EV conversation, I think that's a state variance that's required. And the state may even require that every parking space in the garage be EV ready, like have the power available for it. So I think that this isn't really realistic to not have the EV chargers in the garage. And we just have to have plans for how we deal with that issue. Overall, I like the idea of developing this, make it housing. It feels too big to me. A study shows that people have trouble forming community with over 150 people. It's going to be well over that in this building, and I anticipate that they're going to have trouble with their residents forming a bond with each other and having it be a safe place to live. But just overall, it just seems like too much. And this question of the where is the transformer? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm an architect, and my projects with 10 units have to have a transformer. So with this many units, I'm sure there's one there somewhere. The King's Landing 2 project, they didn't have a transformer in their plan when they came to you, and oops, a building came down. That's a great place for our transformer. So that's my question. Thanks.
Thank you.
Evening, everybody. Stephen Maples, South Troy. I'm just going to do a quick reiteration of a couple of points that haven't been addressed. 285-69G1B stating that all parking should be accessed from an alley where such exists. So if we're considering Monument Place an alley, then that's where it shall go. If we're not considering it, then we can look to our comprehensive plan that says access to underground and structured parking should generally occur on east-west streets only. So there is that aspect has not been addressed in this current plan. And again, like, we can sort of make headway with the EV issue and at the same time, much better urban design issue by just going ahead and creating some commercial or community spaces at ground level that puts this plan better in compliance with the comprehensive plan, reduces the number of spaces, which consequently reduces the number of EV spaces that have to be provided. And then that could also be the exterior street side. The technology is rapidly evolving. A lot of the EV chargers that can be put on telephone poles and things of that nature that are fairly unobtrusive, relatively speaking, to their previous counterparts. So the point is that there are more options on the table, and all of it gets better by removing more parking. That is definitely not needed under any reasonable assessment for a place that is, for a multifamily building that is in the heart of downtown. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Anybody on Zoom?
No.
No? Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to,
Still want to.
oh, we have someone else? Oh, you're back.
Just coming back up because I missed you guys.
I make a motion to declare the Troy Planning Board lead agency of this project.
Second.
The intent to act.
And the intent to declare the Troy Planning Board lead agency on this project.
I second. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion is passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, just regarding that comment that Stephen just made, what's the reasoning for not having the entrance on Museum Place? Is there a reason for that? Is it fire truck access or?
Well, there's the fire truck access. It's the loss of parking spaces that have been agreed upon with the hotel. We'd have to lose additional parking spaces over there. They're fighting for every possible space they can get because they have a significant parking issue. Again, our original plan was to completely remove this and not even have this as part of the site. That would be our preference, to just do it as green space. Also, it's a one-way street. Turning maneuverability in that area also becomes a little tight. Larger vehicles going down that one-way street is tight. And again, I'll point out that the entrances to the Uncle Sam's parking garage were on 3rd and 4th Streets. That's what the existing condition was, and there was a lot more vehicles, a lot more parking spaces located in the parking garage than there are on the first floor of our building.
Your,
Go ahead.
your garage is at street level, correct?
Yes, street level.
Joe, you had said on Museum Place that you wanted to have a dog park. That was your big thing. So you are allowing small animals in your building?
I'm sure there would be. I can talk with the owners on that.
No, not that I want them, but I'm just asking if you're gonna
yeah.
have them.
Yeah, I would assume, yes. I haven't seen an apartment project in the capital region go in without allowing animals in many years now.
Okay, so is there any place along your properties that you could put like little containers for the baggies?
We can provide pet waste stations.
Yeah.
You know,
If you're gonna-
it's hard because essentially our building occupies the entire footprint
Yeah.
of the property, and that's the way the code is set up, because they're telling you put your building within at least within 10 feet of the property. We're actually getting a variance to put a road in
Mhm.
or a driveway in on the north side of the building. And you start putting these things in there, then there's the maintenance, because you put them in a public space. It's not just going to be our residents using them. It's going to be everybody.
Okay.
So it is a consideration, and there is the Riverview Park or Riverfront Park right
Right.
across the road. So there is ample space and open space available for dog walkers.
Okay. Just a question.
And before you leave, did you want to respond to the comment regarding the transformer?
I will ask the question. I don't have an answer to that at this point in time.
It's okay.
If you are allowing pets, I would suspect that many of your residents will walk their dogs in Riverfront Park. You could provide, its interior is beyond this board's review, but you could provide pet waste bags, dispensers inside the building or at the exits where people might go. Just to make sure that they're not creating nuisances in the park or more than necessary.
It's a great suggestion. Something in the lobby, a little, pull a bag, bring it back
Mhm.
with you.
Dump it in the park. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
okay, thank you, Joe. All set. So our next item on our agenda is PLPC 20240021, 1987 15th Street.
Good evening, Nick Costa again. I'm here representing the owners. They're also, the applicant, they're also here with me tonight. This is the proposed addition of 14 bedrooms to the existing 15 bedroom for a total of 29 bedrooms. This is a site that's located at 1987 15th Street. It's zoned campus institutional, and it's 0.19 acres of land. It has an existing home, an existing building that was converted to 15 bedrooms. And the applicant is proposing to put in a building addition to accommodate 14 additional bedrooms. There's, let's see, there's a sanitary along 15th Street. There's water along 15th Street. So the site has the infrastructure to accommodate the additional bedrooms. that created that, the wastewater and the domestic water needed for those additional bedrooms. There was a traffic management plan that was developed for the project. And we did receive I'm trying to find it here, the staff report. Yeah, here it is. The staff report, and there are comments that we will need to work with the departments to address those comments. And there's quite a few of those comments and recommendations. So we will have to, again, work with the departments to mitigate those, address those comments. So again, if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to try to address those. And the applicants are here with me tonight too, so.
Okay. Yep.
I think a big thing is having the dumpster out in front of the house.
Yeah, yeah.
That's, I don't think that's ever gonna fly, having a
Right,
dumpster out
right.
front.
No, we understand that. Yep.
And it looks pretty small, you know what I mean? So, there's gonna be what, 29 bedrooms?
Yeah, there's 29 bedrooms
29
in
bedrooms.
total.
So
Once,
it's gonna
yeah,
be, it looks like you have space for a small dumpster, which we can't have there anyway, but I think you're in need of a bigger dumpster.
Yep.
I don't think you want or the neighbors, I don't think you want the garbage truck coming
Right.
the dumpster truck coming at 5:30 in the morning with their backup alarms going and waking up the neighbors. I don't think that'd be good.
No, no, and they'll be coordinated accordingly that, that waste, there'll be signage that the waste won't be picked up, between certain hours.
What could you do to get that dumpster out of the front of the building? Where could you put it?
We would have to look at, and I'm not saying that this is where it's going to end up, but maybe put it on the side and maybe roll it out into the paved area to be able to pick it up.
So you're going to be relying on city pickup
No, this will be private. I believe it's private,
and you're going to be rolling it out, don't they usually?
not to the street. It'll be rolled out within the area that's that center area that where we showed the truck maneuvering. One of the plans was the truck maneuvering plan.
Okay.
So there's been no changes to the drawing since the last presentation?
No, there has been.
There has, but we
Yeah.
don't have, do we have those?
They should be in there. Are you referring to renderings or drawings?
Yeah, renderings.
Renderings. Yeah, he did submit some. They didn't show the dumpster in the front yard.
Right.
Um,
The site plan shows the dumpster in the front yard. The rendering does not.
Let's see if I can find it. I thought I had put that in.
So in that neighborhood, the height, you need a variance.
That's correct.
For going that high.
That's correct. Yes.
Um,
So we'll have to
Yeah.
work on that. So
Yes, because we definitely are not going to allow a dumpster in the front.
Right.
Okay.
So that's not going to require variance. That requires a waiver by this board. So if you're not going to approve a waiver, then you should probably motion that.
Okay. So,
But with regard to the height of the building, it's 3 stories is that? right?
That's zoning.
So that's
The-
zoning.
The extra level, yes.
Right.
That's going to require. an
Also,
area
the
variance.
density, is there an issue?
Yes.
It said 29 bedrooms. That's both buildings
Both
combined?
buildings.
Is that what we're doing?
yeah, this is a building addition, so it'd be it would be considered one building.
Oh, so that's a new elevation
Yes,
there?
that is correct.
Okay. And the buildings are connected?
Yes, they are connected. You can see the connection
Yep.
on that particular. And they would be connected, not like a bridge, but it would be full connection.
If that connection were not there, would there be room to roll a dumpster to the back of the building?
No, no, not to the back, to the side, yeah, where that, behind, where the umbrella is.
It's kind of still the front of the building now. Yeah, still in front of it. So are you going right to the property line here?
No, there's space. The site plan shows that there's
So
space.
there's between the building and the fence, there's
Yes.
space.
Yes.
How much space is that?
I don't have the site plan. in front of me,
I have
but
one
looks
rendering
like
that
what,
shows
2
4 feet
foot
to
or
the
what?
fence.
4 feet to the fence.
That's how they have, yeah, at least one of
Yeah.
these plans dimensioned.
Right, and again, we would have to look to diminish or increase that space, diminish the size of the building.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's a landscape wall that's shown that goes right to the property line. That would have to be reduced.
It seems like so these are, they're not shared kitchens, or, to refresh my memory on this.
Yes, that's correct.
So they're shared
Right.
kitchens, like 4 bedrooms to a kitchen, or I don't know.
I don't
One
remember-
kitchen, the whole building.
No, not one. I don't remember the ratio, but there's shared.
So how many kitchens are on the drawings?
I thought,
What I'm looking at is you got 29 bedrooms. I'm assuming that
That's correct.
that could be at least 29 people.
Yes, that's correct.
So it could be more than 29.
Yeah, that's right.
Seems like a lot. I mean, if people start, there's college students, correct?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
it's dormitory. And, and there'll be a fee that paid by the students. Obviously, if you're a college student like I was, you're gonna try to minimize your housing expense
Yeah,
and your food costs and all of those things. Like, all of a sudden there's 58 people living in a building with 29 bedrooms. I mean, so are these considerations?
yes, that's correct.
There's 29 bedrooms, but not necessarily 29 people.
Right, it's more.
58,
Could be.
60,
Depends. I mean, if everybody's gonna go.
well, whatever.
Yeah.
And there could be, at any one point in time, there could be upwards of 50 or 60 people, sleeping in this building.
I
At
can't,
least.
right. I can't
How
say.
many bathrooms are being provided?
Again, I don't have the architectural drawing handy. Eric, do you have the architectural drawing?
yes, which drawing do you need, Nick? I'm sorry.
Well, they want to know how many bathrooms and how many kitchens. If we show one, one.
This is the ground floor plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be in your Google Docs. I'm not sure if you got it in front of you.
It seems like there's a density issue. Although, if you take all the systems
Right,
that we're talking about, bathrooms, dumpster,
right.
all of these things are relative to how many people you're going to be servicing in this
Yeah.
building.
And the staff report mentions that there's a.
Have you
Density.
done anything to address it, or?
No, we just received
Okay.
the staff
All right, thank
report.
No idea.
Is there a rear egress off of the existing building? That's not going out into a porch. It's going outside.
I think the only one that we see is the one that goes to the enclosed porch. Eric?
Got a 4th floor on there too, which they don't really want.
And there's no exit off that porch to the exterior.
I don't believe so. I don't see any, steps or anything.
There's no rear exit. It's gotta be.
To the existing building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
use-
Are there Bilko doors or anything like that, or? Is that?
There is something over in this area, but it's not labeled, Eric. Over by the,
We should come back after they've done some
Yeah.
homework.
Okay,
Got a ways to go.
yes,
When would you like to come back to discuss all the questions that the board has?
well, we're gonna, again, work on, with the departments to address the staff comments. And hopefully we can come back in January.
okay.
So do you think
Well,
we,
I would like to make a motion that we disapprove the waiver to grant the dumpsters being placed in the front yard.
That's,
A second.
All those in favor?
aye,
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the motion is carried. You have to go to the ZBA, I
ZBA,
believe.
yes. Yep.
Okay, so can we make a motion to the ZBA that we do not wish to have the fourth floor as living space? They have an attic, I believe, with living space.
You're allowed to provide recommendations to the ZBA,
Yeah.
just as they can do to you.
The plan is, I don't know if they're, were you planning on going to the ZBA before coming back here?
we were gonna work on maybe, removing that, that additional space, leaving it as an attic space, maybe as an architectural feature, but not as having a living space.
So that would take away 2 bedrooms? How many bedrooms?
I don't know that you can call it an attic space if the proposal is for a dorm. An attic space is typical of a 1 family, 2 family, even 3 family.
Right, but they had bedroom space up there.
What was done with the previous attic space
The-
to the existing building?
They're dorms. Yeah, they're
They're
bedrooms.
bedrooms.
I don't think you can call it an attic.
So
Well,
it would,
It's a 4th floor.
It would be a 4th floor, which would be exceeding the 3-floor minimum or 3-floor maximum.
Right,
which,
but I
We'd
thought I
have to
saw on the
remove-
plans on the
You could remove it
attic
altogether.
space, it was
right.
2 bedrooms.
Right now it is.
But
They already built the bedrooms, I believe.
No, I mean, in the new building. I would like to keep the shape of it to match the other side, but as using the attic spaces.
Well, I think we're
nothing.
getting too far because they need to sort of go back and kind of configure some of their designs.
Right.
If they wanted to have a flat roof, that would require a variance as well because there's a need to have roof forms matching adjacent structures.
Right,
So, I think that if you start kind of getting further into this, then you're actually being, designer.
yeah.
And you kind of want to review what their designs are going to be.
okay.
Yeah,
I think we don't have enough to go on here tonight. There's a lot of outstanding issues that need to be addressed with either zoning or with you guys.
You could make motions to declare the project to be an unlisted under seeker. If they do intend to want to come back on this.
So
then-
if there's going to be significant changes, which we are talking about changes to the project, I think it's best that we just kind of wait.
Yes, you could
I
declare
mean,
it
they have
unlisted.
more work
that
to
would
do.
Still allow for uncoordinated review, so the ZBA could weigh in on variances that they seek, correct, Rick?
But I think we would be addressing a project that we don't know what they're presenting to the ZBA. So
Yeah, no,
And
that's
and
fair.
also, it's hard to make a motion to the ZBA until you know
exactly.
what you're moving about.
Exactly.
Um,
I mean,
I would recommend that the applicant not go to the ZBA until they
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just
Finalize-
responding to
let's
Tony's
get closer.
comment that she was thinking of referring them. So
Right.
if they were to go, they would need the action to be declared unlisted in this
Right.
forum so that the ZBA could coordinate their own review.
I don't,
Yeah, I mean, but ZBA didn't make a mention that they were going to send them over to us, right? So I'm just
Yeah.
responding to Tony.
I think we short stop that and just, maybe just table this until the next meeting, until they can come back with,
Right.
some of these issues in the staff recommendations, addressed. I don't think we have enough to go on.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to table this project until the January meeting.
Second. Public comment.
Yeah, there's public.
If you're done.
I am.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this project?
Jared Behringer with City Troy Fire Department. We have significant concerns with the project, as we've seen in the staff notes, and nothing's been addressed. We've seen multiple changes to this project. We can start from the beginning. That their bedroom numbers aren't clear. They're saying 15 in the existing structure, which was once a one family unit. They were caught by code enforcement putting those extra units in, and that's brought this. Truthfully, that project in itself should have come in front of this planning board just based on this changes of that building. But it all happened after the fact, and we're caught them and bring that building up the code to what they had, and we actually had them reduce certain numbers in that building already. So that's one big concern is, there's things happening that we're not seeing and things aren't up front. I believe there's only 11 units in that first building, and they stated there were going to be 15. So that's the numbers aren't as long, along with bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, what the exact numbers are. Everything's changing. Originally, there was not a fourth floor. Technically, that's a fourth floor on that addition. That fourth floor does not meet code because of the setback from the main 15th Street, because there's no aerial access for our ladders. It's greater than 30 feet. We wouldn't be able to even have a ground ladder that could reach that. Our aerial devices won't reach this building at all because of the wires and infrastructure in the front of the building. We talked about the garbage, which is in the main right away. What if there was a dumpster fire? Those are main means of egress. There's no rear egress of this building. They sit right on top of the property lines. Overall, talk about overcrowding. Like you said, that was going to be one of my comments. If you counted 2 people in each number of whatever number we're talking about, we're getting close to 50 people, if not 60
I'd like
people.
to know if there's a fire, how many people are in there?
I'd like to see this as a one fam. At one time in the city of Troy, this was a one family building, possibly 2 family. We're talking maybe 8 people at most that lived on that one parcel that they're putting on that addition. We're now talking 30 units, which in a congested dormitory area where there's no parking to begin with. I know that parking is not a purview that based on our zoning and our code, but it does. What about the residents that live in that area? It's going to make their lives a lot more difficult. The other thing about a dormitory residence in that area, we're talking about RPI. RPI has life safety staff, public safety staff, maintenance staff, all these things that if we have an issue or the police have an issue at those locations, everything's taken care of, or we have direct lines of communication, and we don't see that. That's not going to happen at this property based on the previous history of the already of what's at that location. And we're talking about maintenance. If you were to go buy that property right now, it's in shambles. It's not. It does nothing for that area. It does not bring anything up for that area. And if we were to continue with this project, it is going to do nothing but cause more problems for us, police, fire, congestion, and for everything else that the city is there trying to do for the rest of the residents in that area. So I would strongly, I could speak on behalf of community policing as well. We've had multiple discussions about this. We are strongly against this project in its entirety, much less adding any kind of addition to that building. And and nothing against Mr. Costa. Mr. Costa does great work with plans. I think he's in a rock and a hard place with this. But this project really does not do anything for the city at all.
Thank you.
Hello, Lisa Rodriguez again from 1986 15th Street, across the street from this project. I appreciate that they've brought Nick on, a professional, and he just hasn't had a chance to catch up yet with what's been drawn so far and shown to you. And I'm sure once he's involved that he'll start addressing some of these comments if it should go forward. I totally agree with Jared. This, when it got converted, it was a two-family before. When it got converted from a two-family to a dorm, it should have come before you because that's when a major change happened to the property. And so now they're doing this piecemeal, project, and that's not how approvals, get done. You get to approve things as they change, and this process has not been done properly. What they're proposing is just way too much for the site, so much so that they have to put retaining walls to make it work, to make bedrooms have windows. And Jared's points are all well taken. I don't know if this building needs a transformer or not, but if it has an 800 amp service or more, it will need a transformer. And again, where is it? I couldn't again see the plans because they weren't available online. So I have no idea what they're showing you right now, except the glimpses I got here. That courtyard area has been shown alternating as a garbage truck turnaround and a patio for the tenants. It can't be both. So I get the general point is it's just too much. What they've done so far, okay. You did it. It's there. It's working. They're parking on the site. Officialize the parking that you're using. But this is ridiculous to add that many units to a 0.19 acre site, 29 bedrooms to a 0.19 acre site. Thank you.
Lisa, just as this is a comment in response to your statement, and for the general public, if plans aren't provided for online, then the public is always welcome to come down in person and view them. We've had recent security breaches with some of our online, security walls, and in order to minimize that, at least for the time being, we're still weighing how to go about making more transparency available to the public. But as a measure of security, you can always come down and look at plans in person.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Robert Miller. I'm here with my wife Donna. We live at 1994 15th, two houses to the north and across the street from the proposed property. This is our third meeting, and this project just seems to be moving in reverse. Every time we come, there's something new that just keeps pushing things back, and it's incredible to me. But I'm here to say that I've got a couple points that I know have been brought up in the past, but I want to reiterate them because I've heard them in this meeting. I heard it from the board in the previous meeting, and in the first meeting we attended, I heard it from the city engineer. This project is just too much for the neighborhood. The load on the neighborhood is incredible. I don't know of any other house or pair of houses on this block that has a density that this building has. Is it 15? Is it 29? Is it 38, 58? Who knows? So please, I know you're already thinking about that. Please keep continuing doing that. The other thing I have a problem with is the future. Number one, if this project is approved, does that set a precedent that the two other lots on the street that could also have structures built will now have super high density apartments in them? I certainly hope not. This the street itself is about 30% resident, 70% student as far as property counts go. And the 30% residents have been there a long time. We're over 30 years. So we want to stay there another how many ever years we have left. The other long-term issue is parking. It's already been beat to death. But these owners may have absolute wonderful intents to be good neighbors, to try to limit the number of cars. I don't think it can limit the number of cars, but this says nothing about who's going to purchase this property again. We have an issue in Troy with landlords who are not exactly exemplary citizens to the city of Troy. That could happen in this case. And I beg you, please, this project does not deserve your approval. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Donna Miller from 1994 15th Street, and I basically agree with everything that's been said. I especially am concerned about the fire issues, especially after what happened down in Albany just recently with the death of 2 graduate students. We do have absentee landlord problems in the city of Troy that need to be addressed before we have deaths of students from fires in our community. The parking issue is a big issue. The density is a big issue. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Evening, everyone. I'll just be super quick. I don't really have a strong opinion on this proposal, but just that the zoning is the zoning, like what is there by law is what is there by law. And I'm also just going to reiterate one final point that our code defines a dormitory as just a building utilized as a residence exclusively for students of a college, university, or school. That's it. So like, there's nothing else to it. Like, it's not particularly unique. It's just that simple. So just a point to make. Thank you.
I understand. The application is not complete, so.
Is there anybody on Zoom? Eric took a little break. Can we just have a moment, please? Mhm.
Trying to check the Zoom. Did you look?
I'm not seeing any hands raised.
No, but I don't think there is anybody on Zoom.
You already told there's no waiver for an upstairs.
Are we doing a momentary? Yeah, break right now.
I believe you are.
Are we back? I'd like to make a motion to table this project to the January meeting. We just don't have enough information.
Could we have a moment to comment? Those of us online.
I didn't
Oh,
see
there
your
is
hand
somebody
being
on
raised.
Did a terrible job.
People got to raise their hand. Sorry. Go
I'm
ahead, sir.
sorry. Thank you very much. Darren Scott, 1986 15th Street, across the street from this project. Sorry not to be able to be there in person. I want to thank the board for its comments. I think you're seeing what we all see. And I want to thank the fire department for really taking a deep dive into the safety concerns here. I want to address first the zoning, which I believe was a mistake in why we're having to fight this project off in the first place. It's just wrong. It's not in character with the neighborhood that is here. The rest of the block, 95% of the block may be institutional. RPI does own it. They have athletic fields and actual dormitories. But this block face along 15th Street is, I don't know, R2, R3 maybe. It is, single and two family homes. And that is the nature of the block that we bought our house on. We expect it to stay that way. Then I just want to move to reiterate, this is just too much. It'll be too many people, it'll be too much garbage, too many cars. I think the traffic management study is not realistic. Students have cars. I see bicycles in the renderings. That's just not reality. I think there will be some, but that patio will be turned into a parking lot. And there are already cars parked on the grass. If you want to come up here tonight after the meeting, it's parked on the grass right now. So it will not function like they say or they imagine it will. And they're not going to be around when things go wrong. There won't be anybody to contact when things are not working the way that they say. And then I want to mention a concern about the review process. This is an incremental approach, which I believe is not permitted by seeker. The two-family house was converted into 15, I guess, unit dorm. And now we're going to double it in size to add another 14 units. So 29 units total. That's just not right. That feels like circumventing the process. So thank you for the time, and I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, Eric?
If there's anybody else on Zoom, can you please go ahead and raise your hand or speak?
Okay.
We still have the motion pending, or where are we at?
Table.
Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion to table this project.
I'll second it. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has been tabled. The next item on our agenda is PLPC 2024-0059. Is there anybody here to speak on that? 84th Street.
All right, hello. Kyle Engstrom.
Hi.
Kyle Engstrom, ME Studio Architects. So this should be hopefully fairly quick. We had originally applied and received approval for this project. And I am back here in front of you today because we have a different strategy that we're considering for the rear carriage house. That had been approved for a pretty substantial demolition, where we would be removing the roof, the floor joist, the concrete slab, the rear wall. And the idea, I don't know if we have an image of it, but the idea would be the alley facing carriage house wall would be essentially salvaged and reconstructed. Upon further investigation with the masons, it's sort of seen as almost kind of in disrepair. So the proposal would be to still, the final design would be exactly the same, but the approach would be to essentially salvage the brick and reconstruct it. And so
Kyle, I guess what you're presenting tonight, Kyle, is that you want to rebuild that wall with new materials that are stable and then veneer the old brick.
Yeah.
So from the exterior, it's going to look like the old thing. but it's going to be with new construction materials on the inside holding up the wall.
Yeah, essentially, we would essentially take a like a currently 12-inch brick wall. We would remove it, salvage the brick, rebuild it with concrete masonry, and then veneer it with one layer of brick,
Thanks.
which would be the historic brick anyway. So the final result would essentially be the same. And again, this was slated for quite a bit of demolition anyway. So that's where we're at.
Which brick walls are these?
Ally?
They're going to be demolished?
It's the alley wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
There's
the
two-
alley wall.
two
I
of
can
them,
show
one,
you.
and then-
One right next to the city.
Essentially,
One
I
of the
know,
red
that's
dots.
why I'm asking.
Yeah.
currently looks like.
I could pull it up on Google Earth.
And,
Use the mic.
So when you rebuild the wall, will you be using the brick that you're taking down and replacing it, or are you using just old brick? from
we're
someplace else?
gonna salvage the brick from the site and reuse that, clean it and reuse it.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Oh, wow, this is the good Google Earth here. It's high def.
Only the best.
How much do you have to pay for that?
Oh, look at that, wow.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
So
So do you believe that all that brick can be, just about all that brick can be salvaged to put a veneer on?
we have also the other wall of this carriage house, which is coming down, that will also give us some brick. So with all the brick coming down, we feel pretty confident that we can get it. Historic is okay with that. We've brought this to their attention. As long as we're reusing the brick, and it's essentially all the same.
So is it just that wall right there? Not
Yes.
This is the one change. And to be honest, right now, we're still sort of in the process of investigating it, but the Masons felt pretty strongly that once we get into the work, it might just be coming down. And so
So
I'm
that's
kinda-
actually the brick that's there. It's like structural now, but you want to go
Yeah.
with a veneer look. So structurally sound and using that same exposure basically.
Mhm. Mhm. It's possible that when they get into the work, they might find that it is salvageable to just keep the wall up. I'm here today as just trying to get ahead of it to say we might end up needing to go this route.
I don't know that we have to do. You're not really changing anything to the exterior facade of the building, correct? And the alley side anyway.
I mean, they're going about new materials and, you know, it's a revision. They previously attempted to try to preserve the historical element of this.
You know, I don't think, we don't have to go and
No.
go through another
No,
meeting, right?
You're not reviewing it for complete application.
Right.
This is a revision to a previously approved site plan.
So we're good. We can just go ahead and
You
make a
can
motion to
if you
approve it.
or not.
You're authorizing
Okay.
them to
So
demolish that wall as necessary and rebuild it with
Right, with
regular construction materials, but a veneer of the brick. Is that your proposal here? Is that your revision?
Yes, that's right.
It's the red brick building, right? Or is it the white brick? building?
It's the white one.
It's the white one. Okay.
For what it's worth, doing it this way would actually give us the opportunity to get some cleaner bricks on the outside instead of having to kind of clean up this kind of mess of bricks here, the existing. So
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the application.
Okay.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thanks,
Good luck.
Kyle.
thanks so much. All right.
The next item on our agenda is PLPC 2024-0003, 60 13th Street. 113th Street, sorry.
113th Street. Yes, thank you. Good evening, Chair, members of the board. My name is Brian Sipperly with Verity Engineering. We represent the applicant and the owner, Energy Catalyst Technologies. Just a little bit about the applicant and the business. Energy Catalyst Technologies is a Troy, New York-based designer, manufacturer, and installer proprietary geothermal heat pump systems. They purchased the building in 2023, received an area variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals due to the structure's size in the MU1 zone in the neighborhood 2 overlay. They subsequently received a special use permit and site plan review from the Planning Commission back in 2024, and that special use permit was valid starting in March of 2024, and it expires in March of 2026. So again, tonight we are here to begin a process for site plan review, special use permit renewal. That renewal is going to be requested to become permanent, and more about that later. So again, the address is 61 13th Street. The zoning is MU1, neighborhood 2 overlay intensity. The use is light industrial. Again, I just mentioned how that use is allowed by right, given the special use permit. It's a 2.5 acre parcel, generally irregular in shape. We've got the parcel touches two frontages, and this is kind of strange. The frontages that it touches is 9th Ave and 113th Street. And it's just when Eric gets a moment to bring the plan up, I can show you. But this parcel kind of fronts the short axis of the right of way on both 9th and 113th. The rest of the parcel is going to have frontage on 8th Street Alley as well. We'll kind of bring you to that in a second.
Yeah, I
as
was
well.
going to bring up the site plan, but I think actually I still have the site plan. I can bring that up, but I think I could show them better through Google Earth.
Sure.
One
No
second.
problem. As he's doing that, I'll just kind of keep narrating to the board here. We were just talking about frontages. The lot is principally built. Oh, thank you very much. The parcel is principally built out today with 2 structures, one being the principal structure. Thank you, where the mouse is indicating. And there's a roughly that right there is a roughly 11,500 square foot principal structure. Okay. And the structure to the left there, well, Eric will hang the mouse over, that's about a 4,500 square foot accessory structure. So those 2 parcels exist. Again, the site's principally built. It's got appurtenant paving, loading, parking, and things like that as well. The site was once home to Uncle Sam Pipe Manufacturing for a long period of time until the reoccupancy of Energy Catalyst in 2024. There are no environmental encumbrances on the property. We generally do not have any water bodies, water courses, any wetlands, things like that. Access for the facility is off of 113th and 9th. The site is served with all municipal utilities, sewer, water, and also has all of the private utilities, telecom, gas, things like that as well at the right of way. Generally around us, so the abutters, this is a little bit of a strange area in that what it was and what's surrounding it, but we're going to be generally surrounded by single family uses and on pretty much all sides, with the exception of the east side where we have the Uncle Sam trail up on the hill there with the grade break. Topography of the site, where his mouse is there, we've got a grade change, we've got a rock outcropping and some grade change up to the Uncle Sam trail. It generally comes right on down to the developed area where we're just gently sloping in and around the developed areas. So no major crazy steep slopes or environmental things to worry about on this parcel. The proposal in front of the board this evening, again, as I mentioned, is the site plan review and the renewal of the special use permit and the conversion from time-based to permanent. Is a 10,000 square foot addition keyed on to the principal structure. So I'll just kind of point here. This again is the 11,000 and change principal structure. With the mic. Thank you. This is the principal structure, and this is where the 10,000 square foot addition is proposed. And with that, there's going to be a new loading area proposed. So right now, I didn't really talk about this, but the way this building was designed, the loading is off of the terminus of 113th Street, which is a strange existing condition that was clearly built under a different zoning code at the time. And we know right now that that's generally not a desired place to have loading where vehicles can conflict, or trucks that are parked and trying to make maneuvers can conflict with the with street traffic there as well. So we are going to move loading and unloading to the interior of the site as indicated. As part of this plan, we're relocating parking. So it's kind of hard to indicate. This plan is kind of drawn over an image, but the existing parking for the facility is striped right here. It's no longer going to work in this configuration. So those spaces are being relocated to the northeast corner of the site. And thank you very much. With the addition of some other parking areas as well. Eric was just panning at the south of the site there. We can get into what that's going to be. But again, it's revised parking, revised loading, and the addition of the 10,000 square foot warehouse. The site will have utility connections, drainage, lighting, minimal landscaping as well, although not shown. This is generally conceptual for the board as we're discussing the renewal of the special use permit. Access to the site will remain unchanged, but alter slightly. So principal access to the site, the address is going to be 160 113th Street. Principal access is going to be from 113th with access. We will keep the 9th Street access open. I'm going to dovetail it into something else and why we've got the parking arranged the way it is. What we're gearing up to is for the applicant to support up to 50 employees at this facility with this addition. And our traffic demand management plan has a parking demand section in there. And that indicates that we're going to be planning for about 32 parking spaces. And right now we're providing 43 to generally show mass and scope and what can be supported. So, generally speaking, just because our TDMP indicates that 32 spaces will be sufficient, it doesn't mean that he might need more for 50 employees. It's just the starting point. Okay. Now, why I'm coming back to that is because we believe that the parking that is going to be at the north part of the site will suffice the applicant for quite some period of time until he's at an employee count that is not going to be able to be handled with that existing parking. And we're proposed to grind and restripe this parking in the south and phase it or quote unquote bank it to be used at some later date. And when we do that, the 9th Street entrance would be open to only employees only, no truck traffic will go through 9th. And we believe that's desirable for the character of the residential homes and settings on 9th Street as well. Site disturbances proposed to be under 1 acre. We talked about right now, the employee count is about 18 and the applicant is trying to plan for a potential 50 at full production. The project will need some area variances to move forward. So I just wanted to point out that our expectation tonight is that this board isn't able to take any action. We're here to introduce the project, to get your feedback and talk about it before the applicant appears at the zoning board to seek additional entitlements. And I'll just spend a second describing what those are, although it is in the staff memo. The first is building square footage. So in 2023, this existing facility, when it comes to variances, we're talking about gross floor area, not the size that the building takes up. So this is 2-story in here. We've got about 18,000 total square feet of gross floor area. And so back in 2023, in order for the reoccupancy to occur, the applicant received an area variance, which basically memorialized that the building existed the way it was, and the maximum allowed in the zone is 2,500. Okay. So we've got to seek another variance to expand that for another 10,000 square feet. So that's the one variance there. One of the variances for accessory parking being within 30 feet of a lot line. And the other two are related to principal building setbacks. The first is a front yard setback. So I wanted to indicate to the board that 25.9 feet and 26 feet is an existing condition. The code right now is 0 to 20. 0 being min, 20 being the max. And so the existing building does not comply. We're putting an addition on the back. That also doesn't comply as well. So we've been told we need to seek a variance for a front yard setback. The addition is the side yard setback. So that's also max 15 feet. And so the building does violate it at 8.4 feet today in this corner. But we are, although not dimensioned, the dimension from the back corner to the property line under the new zoning is a little over 51 feet. And so that violates it already today. We are picking up that face of wall and we are continuing it. And that 71.2 dimension violates the setback. So we will be, or at least we plan to apply to the zoning board for the January meeting for those variances and get a chance to hopefully come back and pick this project back up with you all. Generally speaking, that's all I have at the moment. I'll turn it back over to the board for any questions or comments.
You said, how many employees do they project?
50.
Up to 50.
Up to 50.
Up to 50.
Okay. And the firm, Energy Catalyst Technologies, chose this location as opposed to building a new building elsewhere because
They're already in it.
They're already in the building.
they're
Correct.
already in. the-
Yeah. Yep.
So they're doing production right now, or
They are
they're
doing-
doing research or
They're doing assembly production in the building. That's correct. Yep.
geothermal products?
Yep.
Heat pumps.
Correct.
Okay.
So you basically you assemble, get the part shipped in, you assemble.
That is correct.
You
Yep.
put them together.
And they also do installation as well of these custom things as well. Yep.
I want to make a clarification for the record. This was noticed on our agenda as a type 2 project. It's been found to be unlisted. In that regard, you could declare the project to be an unlisted.
So, so we're here, you're here to extend the special use permit. You know, you're good till March with that? Is that what we're saying?
Correct. Especially the current special use permit was valid for 2 years, starting in March 2024, ending in March of 2026.
So you're going to need to go to zoning before you can come back here.
So if we didn't have an expansion plan, we would be back in front of this board to simply request a renewal
Right.
of the special use permit. But because the applicant's business model has changed and he's growing,
Yeah.
he needs the 10,000 square foot. So we're coming back for site plan review, special permit renewal, but it's all part of a revised site plan. That makes sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And but in order to make this happen, we've got to go seek entitlements
Fully
from the
understand.
zoning board before we can
Yeah.
come back and ask this board to continue its review. Correct.
So the only action would be to change the seeker. It was under the original meeting that these guys had here, under the original application, seeker was already declared? Or no?
The seeker in this instance would be applicable to the expansion, so the addition. So that's what you would
Unlisted.
review. The addition is sizable enough to be an unlisted action. So of the actions or motions you could consider taking tonight would be the identification of the project to be unlisted. Potentially a determination if you felt that was appropriate. You could weigh the determination of application completeness, and you might be able to give an indication as to whether or not you support area variances before referring them to the ZBA. And you don't have to cover it this time in this meeting, but at some point you should probably go down and renew sort of the criteria for special use permit permitting. I think we talked about that, Tony, with the chapter 285-16E criteria.
What is the traffic pattern and what types of vehicles?
So it's a great question. The traffic pattern is generally going to consist of employees, normal vehicles, and delivery trucks. Okay. What I did.
What size trucks?
Get there in just a second. What I do want to mention is I took a look at the TDMP that was on record for the reclassification of the reoccupancy rather. That TDMP indicated there was going to be owner box trucks that may be used for local deliveries. We don't see that presently on the site. The applicant and the owner is not with us this evening to talk about why that hasn't happened yet. But we don't have those box trucks. If we're just looking back to, we're going to be very similar to what Creighton Manning described the operation at that time. So passenger vehicles for employees and really everything up to a WB 67, which is a 53-foot box. Those are rare, very hard to get in and out on Troy. We don't have designated truck routes in Troy, as you know, but delivery vehicles certainly make their way to where they need to go in this city. The applicant, will certainly try to work with the shippers and the deliveries around the truck sizing, but they've indicated that it's very hard to control what size truck they send. So I'm just trying to give you a picture. You asked a question of what's the traffic pattern look like. Where these trucks come from, we don't know. I mean, we're generally assuming that they're coming from the 787 down, I believe it's in Ontario, into North Troy. They're not taking other routes, but it's untrue. There is no designated truck route. So how they get to the site, generally speaking, not really too aware of that. But what we've tried to do here with this diagram is just give an indication of a certain truck type and how the swept path would work and get in and out of the site. And this is what they do today. I may know what you're thinking, which is how do they get in and out? And the reality is these trucks must be doing some type of maneuvering out here to back themselves in. Don't know, but I don't know how else they're doing it without preparing themselves, further away from the site. We're going to try to alleviate that by bringing them into the site. And how they would leave is generally out to the north as well, as we're showing.
I'm sorry, where would they exit?
Out to the north on 8th Street Alley. Okay. They are welcome to try to chicane and come back, but we're just generally showing the patterns like that. Hope that answers your question. A lot of it we can't control as they get to the site, but we're trying to indicate what happens when they do get to the site.
So
Are they utilizing 9th Street right now, since it's open as like a loop through? Is that pattern changing, or do you think they're already approaching from?
All of the site photos indicate that gate has been locked and maintained to be locked. Doesn't look like they're making any deliveries or parking through that area.
And what would you say like the increase in triaxle, large trucks is from current conditions?
So it's a great question. We believe that there's only going to be, say, 3 to 5 trucks a week. And the reality is the applicant is indicating that the amount of truck traffic that they see today versus this build out won't change. And that's due to they don't fill a truck when it comes, nor do they fill a truck when it goes out. So a lot of it would be just filling up the trucks, getting full truck deliveries and things like that as well. So the applicant actually is not anticipating increased truck deliveries. It's the ability to better utilize that cubic volume in every truck coming and going.
So did you say that at 113th Street, they have to maneuver to back in all the way into the parking? Or the loading?
That's what I'm saying. I haven't visualized it, but when you're there at the site, there's really no possible way for a truck to find that truck here with the cab facing the building and do any type of turning to get the dock door. There are dock doors right here right now. Okay, and we're proposing to close those dock doors off and eliminate any loading and unloading that would be occurring in the terminus of the 113th Street right of way.
So they can't pull in. After you get rid of that docking area in the front, they can't just pull in and go to the other loading dock where you're gonna put it?
Maybe I'll just clarify. Right now, the only loading docks are here, and so the truck must stick out into 113th as they're loading and unloading. What they do before they back in, I'm speculating, right? But I think we're all assuming that that's what some truck drivers actually making their maneuvers back here. They back in, and so 60, 70 feet of that truck could be protruding into the 113th right away during loading and unloading. And that's the present situation. And we're removing those loading docks. We're going to close those off so loading and unloading can no longer occur here.
So they can pull it.
And then they can pull in, and then the new loading docks are going to be indicated of where those trucks are there.
Okay, so how long do you think that's gonna take to remove the loading dock and put it on the side on the north?
I think the answer to that would be the completion of construction, right? So the only loading and unloading today is here. The applicant needs to maintain production operations until such time. But I think I would say when the contractor hands them the keys to turn the building on, this will be closed off, that would be turned on. Yep.
So this is the Uncle Sam pipe previously before we're doing the geothermal.
That's correct.
Were there more trips then than there will be now?
Great, another great question. So the 2024 TDMP by Creighton Manning that was on file for the reoccupancy summarized just that. So they took land use code 140, which was manufacturing, and they compared based upon the square footage versus employees. And their conclusion at the time was no site improvements needed, a lot less trip generation between the old use and the current use. That's right.
Now, when it was, I think when it was a pipe place, there was also different ways into the property. It was kind of odd. I mean, you know, where they had pipe storage in the back, depending on what type of pipe you wanted, it felt like you could get in different ways. So you're going to control all that to one access point.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from? No? Yeah, is there anyone here from the public that would like to speak about this project? Steve Maples.
Just if you could, just a little bit more explanation of the how the loading dock will be filled in and removal of confirming that there will be removal of that railing and so forth, and just a little bit more detail on that.
Sure. That question, comment clear to the board?
No.
I think the question was, or the statement was, there's not too much detail on what's happening there. There are some retaining walls to deal with some grade transitions around those docks. And so I think the question is what's happening there? And the answer is we don't have that level of detail today. We'll provide what that is in a grading plan and how that's going to be worked out. But I guess the question would be is all that will be removed, and we would want to, I'm speaking to both parties. I guess I'll speak to the board and the commenter can listen in here. If you can see there's a grade change there, we'll be filling in that area so that the trucks have the ability to sweep through that area as well. Yep, because right there, that is the biggest impediment to any large swept path of a vehicle is that grade transition. So that will be filled in. I'm assuming you can see from back there, and I believe that may answer the gentleman's question.
Okay. Is there fencing all around your property or no?
Currently there is, you can kind of see right here, how that's going to work is going to be a little bit different on the final site plan. I just wanted to make sure this board understands that the concept plan that you're looking at is, broad brush terms to discuss with this board, the massing, the scoping, the access, the traffic, things like the lighting plan, the landscaping, the grading, the fencing, all will come later through further discussion. But I just want to communicate to you that we do intend to have a secure site. Where the fences are going to go, we'll leave last in terms of where they should go.
Brian, is there a fence on the eastern edge of the parcel? Preventing anyone from coming in from the bike trail?
That's a good question. I'm just going to try to look at the existing condition survey that was provided to see if there was one way up there. It looks like there's a portion of a chain link fence along one of the courses, if that makes sense, but it doesn't look like there's one plotted all along the back courses that would border that.
I'm not sure if the activity is still, yeah, I see what you mean. I'm not sure if the activity is still ongoing. It's probably ceased to a certain extent, but the police department had issued some concern when this was evaluated for the first round of special use permit review, and that cars from this parking lot previous to the occupancy currently were getting their catalytic converters taken out. They made a note of that, and then nuisance reports. So they advised security cameras and fencing, perimeter fencing, if it's feasible.
Yeah, we'll certainly discuss that with the applicant. I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal.
Get any feedback from neighbors up there?
Yeah, you can declare.
There's a lot of pools.
Yeah, it's another great question because as this type of use cohabitates with single family all around, Matthew, the owner operator of the company, indicates he does have generally good relations with all of his neighbors, and I think he takes active pride in making sure that he is a good stablemate to the neighborhood. But I think at a public noticing process, we'd all hear otherwise if that's not the case. But
Your
we
hours
do
of
believe it's good.
operation are planned to be 9 to 5, right?
Yeah,
No
the-
heavy outdoor welding or.
No, I think
anything that's going to be off gassing or any of that.
All of that, no outdoor storage of materials. So part of this is going to allow the
All of
applicant
it's
to
going to be
bring
assembly inside.
inside. That is correct. Yep. So, what the residents of Uncle Sam used to have is the reverse beacons of forklifts and pipes going into storage
Right.
racks, and that's the
And welding and.
and
cutting.
welding and those noises are.
There'll be none
are-
of that.
None of that. Yep.
So the use, you would say the use is less invasive to the neighbors than the prior use.
Less intensive, correct. Yep. Which I believe is a welcome thing, given that this is a built facility in and around the sensitive, areas of single family residences. And so it's a tough thing to blend together, but we certainly would believe that it's less impactful. And I would hope that the residents now could attest to that after the first 2 years of being there to understand.
And
that.
also the work inside will be mainly assembly.
That's correct.
There's not going to be any foundry, nothing like that, right?
As far as I
No-
know, there's no stamping dies, there's no hard hitting things that would vibrate. Yep.
No etching, no chemistry involved. Okay, thank you.
Yep, light assembly. You're welcome.
So, anybody else in the audience that would like to speak on this? Anybody on Zoom?
If there's anybody on Zoom that'd like to speak to this, go ahead, speak. No. Everybody's busy.
No? Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Comments about the proposal before we go attempt to see the zoning board of appeals?
So,
So this is unlisted,
yeah, I think we have to,
declare.
Yeah.
change the secret declaration to unlisted.
I'd like to make a motion to declare this an unlisted action under secret declaration.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Now, the other thing is the special use permit extension,
We're gonna do that later, not tonight.
not tonight. So we're good until March with your special use permit and you'll be before us again.
We hope to be back at the Jan 20 meeting if we have anything salient. to
So we
update.
don't need to extend you now, tonight.
That is correct.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
All set, Chair?
Yes. We are all set,
Oh.
so we'll just have him back in January.
Yeah, you understand, so unless they do an application complete or a secret deck or schedule, you'll have to come back for 2 more meetings at that point.
Public hearing, complete application.
Complete application, schedule the public hearing, then the public hearing.
What stands in the way of deeming a complete application?
We would have to go through all of the outline 285-16E.
No, that's for
No?
special use permit review. As I indicated earlier, you guys could determine application completeness this evening if you felt it appropriate.
Well, we do have the variances outstanding that he's got to go to the ZBA for, right?
But it's an area variance. I mean, it's either a project killer, right, without it, like, I mean.
It's absolutely a project killer, correct.
If you don't get the variances.
If we don't get the variances, clearly there's no ability to come back and grow the site. There'd be a challenge for Energy Catalyst to have to, seek elsewhere. They would like to stay in Troy and be a Troy-based manufacturer. And then the other thing we'd be interested in talking more about with this board at a later date at a later juncture when it makes sense, is the conversion from a time-based to a permanent special use permit, as this is quite an undertaking with financing and improving the property. And the very short horizons might make that very difficult for financing and the business itself. But we don't want to put that on the board. We just want to be transparent about what some of the challenges are, and we go from there. Yeah, the question about the complete application, I was just a little unsure if it's just ministerial in nature and we just need to determine, do we have all of the files required? Great. If it's something that doesn't get deemed complete until the board determines that there's no more new information required by the applicant, then that's something we'll have to do at a later date. So just to help me understand it.
Well, the application completeness, you guys are all fairly familiar with that process, you know, and the materials that they've submitted to date. The zoning variances that would be required for this would not be essentially part of your application for planning site plan review. So you can look at this and you know, it's up to you guys as to whether or not you feel like there's sufficient information before you to be able to determine the application is complete. And if there's not, then this would be the time to notify the applicant as to what you would like to see specifically in order to get to that determination.
So you've seen the staff recommendations?
Correct.
And where are you at with some of the minor issues on the staff recommendations? Do you feel that you'd be done with those by our next hearing or next meeting?
CBA.
Did I just misplace it? But no, the short of it is we don't see the variant. The one thing on the staff notes that's outside of our sphere of influence is the separate body, the Zoning Board of Appeals. Snow storage, lighting, filling in a lot of details we believe can be addressed through the subsequent site plan review with you all. I did have a copy and now I'm missing it, but oh, here we go. So if we want to just quickly run through, and I'm just going to comment on things that aren't statements. So, you know, wayfinding signage, striping, lighting details, details about the loading dock and how it's going to be removed, snow storage, fire department connections, all of these things are able to be met through just advancing the plan further. So there's nothing on, at least in the note section, that we believe we would not be able to comply with. And I believe staff recommendations are more statements about other departments and other things needed. So no, I think just looking down there, and Eric and I had a conversation this morning about this memo. There really wasn't anything in there that we did solve as a.
You feel that those things could be done by the next meeting, by a hearing, by January?
We could. I think there's a tight timeline. So if we appear on the 7th and we get the variance, we would need to basically have this plan already updated in advance to, you know, in hopes that we would have gotten the variance to make the deadline for the 20th. And so I think never want to tell the applicant we have time, but I think we're here for the right time. And so if we have to come back in January and come back one time in February, I don't think that's going to be the biggest issue, especially if you board feel that we need the proper time to develop the plans and show those things. But no, just to answer your question, nothing in the staff notes where project killers are unable to be mitigated. Just a point, right? A couple things came up on other projects this evening: dumpster locations, transformers. We're showing 43 spaces when we generally need 32. We can horse trade out areas for snow storage and show those on further plans. So there's nothing really contained in here that we don't have room to deal with or to show. It's really just getting through the next hurdle with that board, with the zoning.
The ZBA.
Yeah, the ZBA. Yeah.
So it has on here that they need a sign off by DPU.
Yeah, we usually put that on most
I do think
projects.
there could be reason for, you know, like a hydrodynamic separator, given the dust. There could be reason for some type of, you know, separator in the sewer system there, which is typical for industrial parking lots. It's not something to hold up application completeness or even probably even site plan approval on, because it doesn't really change the layout, but it's something worth noting. And you know, DPU should review that as part of their sewer review.
So do we want to make them complete?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to declare this application complete.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
See you next meeting.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's been a long night for you all.
Thank you as well.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is PLPB 2025-0063, 120 Hoosick Street, Fitness Gym. Anybody here to speak on that?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Eric. I just requested to share on the Zoom.
Sorry for that. Should we just stop sharing mine? There you go.
Thank you.
Can we have your name, please?
Good evening. I'm Karen Majanowski from Bowler Engineering on behalf of James J. Welch and Company, the applicant who is attending on Zoom, and here with Matt Smith from Crunch Fitness, and the property owner is here as well. Let me just pull up our exhibit. All right, so we're here for a fairly simple project, hopefully this evening at 120 Hoosick Street, which is a approximately 12-acre commercially developed site. Existing conditions shown here at 120 Hoosick Street. And we're looking to simply propose a new tenant, which would be a different use than what's there today. So we've added this box on this side of the existing building. That was a retail space. It's about 37,000 square feet, and we're looking to propose a new use and tenant for that for Crunch Fitness. I believe we're into minor site review territory, possibly because of the square footage of it, but everything already exists on site today: access, parking, utilities, all those types of things. So it's a simple plug and play in for this new user for the gym. And I'll open it up to the board for any comments or questions. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm sure you read the staff report.
We received the staff report.
Okay, and under their notes and recommendations, has anything been decided as to how you're going to proceed? I know they do require bike parking.
That's something we could provide. Yes.
Okay. They also suggested maybe additional landscaping, shade trees.
Yeah, anything related to the overall property would have to be discussed and decided on with the landowner.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that the landowner is here because I received a message today that the owner was here. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thanks.
What was the prior tenant?
Big Lots.
Big Lots.
Oh, it's Big Lots. Okay. So will be there less usage than there were at Big Lots?
Less usage?
Yeah.
As far as
How many people have been going through the door? You know,
Currently during peak times, we see 40 to 60 check-ins an hour. Average stay is about an hour.
so it's probably more than Big Lots then, right? Or no?
Most
Or
likely.
less?
I used to go to Big Lots a lot actually, so it was never really.
Not a lot of people
Never
there.
really
There was-
crowded.
There was
That's why
never
they're
a
not
lot of
there.
Christmas shopping.
And they were in bad shape, so they should have stuck around and, maybe they could have, used the fitness. Yeah.
What are your hours of operation?
Typically 5 a.m. to 10 or 11 p.m.
10, 11 p.m. So you're not gonna you don't do the Planet Fitness thing, that 24-hour thing during the week, so 10, 11 o'clock. You're gonna have saunas and steam rooms?
In this one, I have to check the latest plans, but Not typically, no.
So, okay, I was looking at one today, I saw saunas, sauna and steam on,
It's usually like hydrotherapy, tanning.
no red light therapy.
I believe we may have read
Take a red bulb to me and that one.
I have a random question. Where's the closest Crunch Fitness currently from
So
here?
We just opened a few months ago at Cross Gates Mall, and then we have one in Schenectady.
So, does anybody?
Are you competitors with Planet Fitness and places like that?
I think our goal is to determine what we need to do for seeker and then and any other things that might have a lead time, unless the board could accept this and vote on this tonight.
Yeah.
So so that's really all we have to do is declare. It's an unlisted.
Lead agent.
Unlisted.
So we could say their application's complete. And
You can
do they
also,
need another hearing for this?
Yes.
The application cannot be deemed complete the same night as a hearing. There has to be a notice.
So you'll be back in January.
So we could deem complete tonight and return in January. Okay.
Secret determination.
Yeah, I think I'd like to make a motion to determine seeker as unlisted.
Second.
what about?
You have to
Okay,
be
so
lead
so that's a,
agency.
Completeness
that's a
as well.
classification of what type of seeker action is. I mean, I guess you can also determine whether or not if you have sufficient information.
Right.
To determine whether or not a negative or positive declaration should be forthcoming.
Yeah, so I guess we just went through, so we're saying it's already an unlisted project and we could say it's got a negative declaration. I could make a motion to declare it.
You can do, yes, you
Combine
can
the
do the
motion.
both in the
Yeah,
same
combine
motion.
them in the same
Yeah.
motion.
Then we have to declare ourselves lead agent.
Don't
no,
need to.
Not unlisted. Okay.
No, in order to not coordinate the review, you just declare it as unlisted, issue the determination if you felt fit. for
Yeah.
that.
So redo the motion to declare this as a secret unlisted project and offer a negative declaration.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'd
Motion
like
is
to make
carried.
another motion to declare the application complete.
Second.
Okay, well,
Need to vote on.
yeah, I know we do. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
And I'd like to make a motion to schedule a hearing at the next meeting in January. What's the date?
January.
January the 20th. For a hearing?
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
There you
I
go.
guess you're coming back on January
See
20th
you
for
next
your
month.
hearing.
See you then. Thank you.
I got a bag. I got a bag.
I have a motion. You gotta make a motion
I gotta make a motion.
still.
Make a motion to get out of here or
Adjourn.
adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're out of here.